Hey everybody, happy Thursday. Hope
Yo.
you all can see us and hear us. Let us know if not. And it looks like YouTube is being nice to us a little bit more tonight. So, fingers crossed. Alright. Hi everybody. Hey Ronnie. Hey Mo. Ronnie, sorry to hear that you have homesickness. I didn't realize you were actually on a road trip right now. I don't know how I missed that memo. But sounds like you have left Texas, that's for sure. So you're in Pennsylvania and crossed into West Virginia. That's very cool. West Virginia is a state that I've driven through a couple times, but have never really stopped. It's like definitely somewhere that I want to get back to. So let us know what you're up to there.
West Virginia.
Yep.
Mountain Mama.
I'm sure he's on a lot of country roads, that's for sure. And then Megan Morris, hello. David Fagan, all the way in Seattle, welcome. And then
up?
Traveling with Nick P, aka Nick Peterson, welcome to you. And Drew, hello.
Drew.
Ryan Donahue, how's it going? And Mark Finley, you made
Nice.
it. So Mark is having a movie night with his family later tonight, but he
And
stopped
right now
in.
he's making dinner.
Yeah. So this
I made
is
dinner
fun.
tonight.
Really, really fun to have everybody on. And Katie Smith is
Katie,
here
Katie, how
too.
you
Welcome. We've got a really great crew. So, I think a lot of you guys probably Klaus is on too. Hey, how's it going?
Alan A.
Alan A. Oh my gosh. Hi everybody. I feel like I can't stop saying hello. This is so fun. Okay, so Mo just bombarded the Facebook chat with more photos. Enjoy. Yeah, I
Nice.
have been dreaming about your photos. That he's been posting all these photos in Northern Ireland, and I even went to the geotag place that he's been doing on. I don't know if it was Instagram or Facebook, but seeing where they are, man,
Mo, we're going to
makes
need
us
you
want to go
to...
to the UK, which is kind of a little bit what we're talking about.
Yeah. And Mo, you need to tell us, how long do we need to spend in Northern Ireland? How much
Yeah.
time should we,
We need an
put
insider's
in the
opinion.
calendar for all that? Because I've never been to the island of Ireland, so...
But I don't
Yeah,
think
wanna
we'd be
make
able
it.
to cross the border very easily. I think it would be a Northern Ireland
I know.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
and I've never been on the island before, so I need to go.
We'll get to that update in a second. But Nick Peterson says he just drove 450 miles today, went down the Mississippi, which I assume, of course, Mississippi River, since I think he's still up in Minnesota.
Drew, I love you, bud.
Went down
you guys-
hold on. Went
Oh,
down
sorry.
the Minnesota side of the river and came back on the Wisconsin side. Fun day. That does sound like a really fun road trip. I've never done the Mississippi River that far north. I've done, I canoed in I want to say it was the Missouri River up in North Dakota one time, but never the Mississippi that far. What was Drew saying, Derek?
Drew says he has us on one screen, the NBA on another screen, and a pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream in front of him, and he's never been happier.
We've made it.
In weeks. The happiest he's been in weeks. Not ever, but in weeks. So, Drew,
Man.
thank you. We're happy to be of assistance.
Those are two really powerful things that we're in that category with. So
Ice cream and the NBA.
man, thank you. Just thank you to all of our fans like Drew out there. We're delighted to hear these stories.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then okay, so taco night. Yes.
Yes.
How
I
did
made
you
tacos.
know?
That's all I make. It's really all I do. But yeah, I made
It
tacos.
was taco
it was
night
good.
here. Yeah. You want to tell them about your tacos real quick, since somehow he asked and we ate them?
Well, I said that I made dinner tonight.
Right. So you made them with chicken thighs.
Chicken thighs.
which
So
we've
I
never
did.
done
So
before.
I bought a bunch of chicken thighs from Costco, baked them, which was super easy. Then I chopped them up into little pieces, stuck them in with my special sauce, taco sauce. Let that simmer for 4 or 5 hours, something like that. And then put them in the fridge, let it sit overnight, marinate, and then we had them today, and they were pretty darn good.
Yeah, they were delicious. Approved.
Yeah.
But yeah, David, did you have taco night tonight too? I'm very curious. Is this a thing that You
I've
guys
talked
are on the
about
same
tacos
wavelength.
before.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely a taco dude.
I am I'm always one tortilla away from a taco, guys. Just one tortilla.
There it is. And then, yeah, my dad, Alan A, is saying to Nick P that the Driftless area, and I believe that's in Wisconsin, is really beautiful right along the river there. Drew says, oh no, you already read that part. And yeah, Nick agreed with my dad. Mo is saying, I'm hyping you up for when you come. Honestly, there's loads to see and depends on the weather. Yeah. A lot of the stuff that I like to do in the UK is all outdoors. So it's one of those places where you kind of have to bring your Wellingtons.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say you just
AKA rain boots, and just trek on out.
Yeah, it's you can't let the weather dictate you too much.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Hello, Musings at Midlife. Welcome. And Ruth Armstrong, hello. Considering how the coronavirus is traveling again, this is a super topic. Yes. So back to tonight's topic. Yeah. So basically what we're going to try to do is talk about what our considerations are right now for choosing a place that we most likely will, like if we go to the UK, as we've kind of been telling you guys, we'll need to quarantine for 2 weeks first, and all of the considerations around that.
Yep.
And then also what's hopefully going to feel relevant to you folks who maybe are traveling domestically, at least feels really relevant to us here in Chicago, is all of a sudden you might have an announcement that wherever you live, if you're out traveling, you might have to quarantine when you get back. So that kind of really stemmed from a lot of the announcements just this week here in Chicago that they added, I think, maybe 4 more states to the quarantine list. So now we're at if you've been in 17 states in the past 2 weeks and then come into the city, you are technically required to quarantine for 14 days. And they're like the fun states too, like the ones that people want to go to. So it's such a bummer. But yeah, I mean, some people might. I mean, I have a friend right now who just went to Nebraska with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend's from there last weekend, and then Nebraska got added to the list on Tuesday, and now they're gonna have to quarantine when they get back. So it's one of those things where it sounds like it can kind of start to happen to anybody. Mark Finley had an extremely hilarious meme that he shared this week that kind of is the essence of how that feels, at least to me, of like, it's literally a map of the United States and then just like an overlay of the game Minesweeper.
Yeah, that was a good one, actually. That was really funny.
And that's exactly how it feels. It's like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden it can just blow up on you, can it? So, hopefully that hasn't happened to any of you guys yet. I think a lot of you guys actually live in states that maybe are a little bit less strict than where I'm at, where we're at. But it could. So, yeah. I thought that we could start to talk about how to prepare for that type of scenario, because it is like just, it's so important along with travel planning in other ways at this point.
Yep. And I mean, on top of all that, I mean, we're getting more serious about the idea of going to the UK. And as opposed to traveling around the U.S. And so, it's just something that we've been doing a lot of research on and looking into and thinking through. So figured it would be fun to share with you all.
Yep. Yeah. Hope you guys are down for it. We're not seeing much happening in the chat as we talk about it, so hopefully you are all ears. Yeah, Ryan, I heard about that. So I think he's in Massachusetts is kind of like doing the same thing as Chicago right now, where they just instituted a 2-week quarantine for anyone traveling outside of New England or New York or New Jersey, which is even more strict than Chicago. I mean, Chicago, I think, like I said, has about like 17 states on the list, and Massachusetts is just like, just don't come here right now if you're not from the area. And it's hard to avoid Massachusetts if you're doing a New England road trip. There's like a lot of, you'd have to kind of get around like through Vermont down into New York, that sort of thing. So that's just a bummer. But and especially like we're supposed to go to a wedding in Massachusetts in December, and I have many cousins in Massachusetts, but one more is moving there, even like next week, and moving to the Boston area. So it's like, oh, we can't visit them. Like one of them just had a baby this year. It's tough and it sucks, but like we're still gonna follow the rules. Yeah. And Nick's saying Massachusetts is even more strict than New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut. It is.
And he's saying
right
that
now.
Delta has started doing temperature checks on international flights. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I kind of want that. I mean, I know that a lot of airports, didn't you say the Singapore airport did temperature checks like even before?
Yeah, just everywhere.
Coronavirus, yeah. And that's,
Well, a number of the Asian countries, I think, started probably doing that after the avian bird flu went through. I think they started introducing a lot more, like SARS and everything.
Yeah.
At the airports. So I know Singapore does that. They take your temperature. I think Japan does that, where everybody gets their temperature taken. And if you get flagged, they separate you over to the side.
Yeah, and one of my good friends who lives in Singapore right now, he and I were texting this week, and he was saying that daily life is kind of back to normal there, but nobody's traveling in and nobody's traveling out. So I think they're trying to at least protect that. And Bonnie, hello from Canada.
And Gallivanting Gals.
Gallivanting Gals are on. Hey, welcome.
And Nick Barnett.
Hey. We have such a great crew. Thanks everybody for coming in and supporting us. And don't forget to press that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, because that's a great way to support free travel content on the internet. And this channel.
The interwebs.
On the interwebs.
The intertubes.
On the line. So yeah, we're really, really pleased to have so many people on. We just kind of went through what we're going to talk about tonight. Hopefully, you guys are going to be interested in hearing our thought process as we very strongly consider going and basically to the UK for several months this fall. And having to do a 2-week quarantine as a result when we first arrive. And also, 2-week quarantines for those of you who might find yourself needing to do that in the U.S. as well. So, just catching up on the chat. Nick says, I always find it funny. My family in New Hampshire calls people in Massachusetts masshole. Yeah.
And everybody in the Northeast likes to rag on each other.
So we used to live in New York City for 8 years. 8 years. We moved to Chicago a little over 2 years ago now, at the beginning of 2018. And we're familiar with kind of that teasing and everything. Like even within the New York area, if you grew up on Long Island, you might be,
you might have an accent.
But you might be making fun of people who are from New Jersey or vice versa or something like that. And it's just one of those things. It's funny. But I feel like, which is so different than people here in the Midwest. I feel like here in the Midwest, we're like, we're all in this together. Maybe that's just my experience, but... Yeah.
But Bonnie was saying that they're having a heat wave right now and that it is glorious.
Nice.
So that's cool. I hope you're enjoying the heat.
In Canada.
Yeah.
we have
Canada and the UK. Both those places, it's like it gets hot and people are like, woo!
I don't love heat waves in the UK if they're truly hot, because there's not a lot of air conditioning. Yeah, there's not a lot of air conditioning to be found. And so one time, I think it was July of 2018, we went and it was outrageously hot in the UK. So warm. It was like one of those 2 outfits a day sort of thing. And at night in our Airbnb, there's just absolutely no airflow because there's no AC. We ended up having to go out and try to buy a fan just to have on at night in order to keep cool. Bless you.
Almost.
Bless you. I was like, what is
Sneeze.
it coming? Okay. But yeah, Mary Ellen Dillon, welcome to you. She's saying that the heat has been brutal this summer without air conditioning in Connecticut. Yeah, wow. I totally can imagine. I heard that it's really hot right now over there.
Yeah, Nick's saying it's been the hottest July ever for much of upstate New York.
Yeah, it's awful. I have a lot of friends still in New York City, and it sounds
Ronnie, thank
sounds
you.
Tough.
I feel blessed.
Bless you.
It's funny. But yeah, so Musings at Midlife just had said that they went to the zoo with her granddaughter on Tuesday. Masks are required, and rules are rules, and hopefully Minnesota will stay off the naughty list.
Yeah. So Minnesota, I posted the updated map that the city of Chicago, posted on Tuesday. They basically the city of Chicago updates its list every single Tuesday, and they have a corresponding map. And I believe Minnesota was still kind of in the gray. It wasn't even in the yellow zone, which is kind of like caution. This state might be added to the list next week. And of course, Indiana was on there, which is where we go all the time.
Yep.
So we're keeping an eye on it, as we all should if we're planning on doing road trips and stuff. But it's funny, kind of what prompted me to even start really posting the information publicly on my Instagram stories is that I had 2 separate people reach out to me saying that they had business trips to Chicago and wanted to ask if I wanted to meet up for drinks while they were in town. And they're totally separate companies, everything, but both of them were from states that
Are on the list.
Are on the list and have been on the list for a month. And so I'm like, wait, your companies are sending you here? And they had to inform their companies of
there's
this issue.
Yeah.
And that they're technically supposed to quarantine. So I think it's just not very widely known, and the communication isn't super strong, because people hear about what's happening with New York City, or I heard what's happening with Massachusetts, but maybe not with every single city. It's hard to keep track. It really is.
Yeah. It's funny, Mary Ellen is saying almost everywhere is on the naughty list for Connecticut, New York, and New Jersey right now. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, kind of stinks. But I will say Drew has a question. Mm-hmm. And it says that if you were planning to travel domestically or internationally, would you think Airbnb or hotels would be safer? Would it depend on the location?
Great question. And we were going to get into
for
what we're
lodging.
Considering for lodging. So for quarantining, we're definitely considering Airbnbs right now, just to be able to have access to a kitchen and making our own food. And it's kind of a money saving thing, but also just limits the amount of outside food that we have to bring in. But I would definitely consider staying in a hotel right now if that's not something that you necessarily need to do, but making sure that 2 things. 1, the hotel has a cancellation policy that's really good, beneficial to you. And then also making sure that they have posted their updated cleaning policy. Yeah. And even better is if you basically can bring your own wipes and everything like that too, yeah. And just make sure everything's clean. Do that for the Airbnb too.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like no matter what, we'll be wiping down any major surfaces that we would be touching and stuff once we get into a place. From the perspective of the quarantine, though, the 14-day thing that we're doing, or that we'll likely be doing, we're looking at staying at a place for at least 2 weeks without leaving the premises. You can't leave in the UK. And so for us, it means that... You literally
can't even go for a walk.
You can't go
outside.
For a walk. You can't, unless there's outdoor space like a back garden or a backyard, basically, for an Airbnb type house, you don't have any recourse to the outdoors. So for us, it's about finding the right space. And so Airbnb or VRBO or what have you, is the better option for us, because being cooped up in a tiny hotel room would be hell for that amount of time. And, if it's a nice enough place that you'd want to spend 2 weeks straight never leaving it, it's probably going to be really expensive. So for us, it's, looking at a place that's going to be affordable, give us the space to move around, maybe a 2-bedroom Airbnb that gives us, a room to sleep in, and then another place where we can maybe set up our computers as a workspace and all that good stuff. So, that's all the stuff that we're kind of thinking about when it comes to our travels. Now, Does that mean that afterwards we wouldn't stay in hotels? No, we would definitely stay in hotels afterwards.
Yep.
But, just not for that initial stay.
Yeah. And there's been a lot of great comments here, but I'm just going to jump into Megan's latest one. So Megan Morris asks, will you have to get all of your groceries delivered, or can you do a haul before you go into the quarantine? So,
Good question.
in the UK, we've found that the local rule is that you cannot do a haul. You must, as soon as you fly in, if you are an American, so like Bonnie, you're good. But like if you are an American, you need to say what your quarantine residence is, and you must go directly to there and not leave for 2 weeks. And that's as of right now. So it could change, and we're keeping abreast of that.
Now that is,
but that's not the case with like quarantining in Chicago as much.
now if it's a long enough distance from the airport that you fly into, so say you're flying into London and then you're quarantining in like York or something like that, that is a significant drive. They do say that you can drive like halfway, stay at a hotel, and then continue on. But you need to know where you're going to stop in advance. You need to provide that to immigration as well.
Yeah.
But you can't just like stop along the route and like
Yeah.
hang out and like go see a castle, right?
So-
You have to like go straight up and
Thankfully, because my old roommate, who I'm just still very, very close with, she lives in London. She's American with an American husband also there, but they have now become UK citizens too. Like they've been there for a long time. So I've been really actively talking with her about what to do when it comes to food and stuff like that. There's definitely like grocery delivery options. Just we're very much keeping track of how long the waits are for if you order your groceries online. Like there, it might take a week before that delivery happens. So we might, like, if we need a grocery haul when we arrive, we might need to order it
in advance.
like a week in advance from the U.S. So
Yeah, but that being said, there are the rules in the UK though that say that if you are able to get it delivered to you, you have to do that. So I guess if you were staying in a place that was a little bit more remote and didn't have delivery options, you are allowed to leave the premises for like necessary things like going shopping. But if you can rely on even friends and family to bring you food, you need to rely on that.
Yeah.
And you can get fined if you get caught not doing that.
Yep. And there, like, you can't even have if you're related to somebody in the UK, you cannot have them come over and hang out with you.
Nope. But
but
you know, you can ask them to bring you food and leave it on
like
your doorstep.
drop it off. Yeah. So Gallivanting Gals are asking, check out Sykes Holiday Cottages for the UK. They have some pretty cool places. Well, we'll have to do that for sure. We've been looking at a couple of Airbnbs actually, so to answer Katie Smith's question, in the city of Bristol specifically. It's cheaper than London, and we're super excited about.
We've never been.
And yeah, it's funny because we've never been to Bristol, but we have been to Bath and to Cardiff and to the Cotswolds, and we would love to go to Cornwall, which are all basically
Pretty
surrounding Bristol.
Yeah.
And Bristol, the city itself, has a lot of great ethnic restaurants, and I'm really into Asian food delivery. So that was kind of like if I'm going to be in quarantine for 2 weeks, I need access to Thai food.
Well, and that,
because it's dairy free and like.
And that is one of the things is that the beauty of this is you can look at different locations and see, like, put in an address and say what delivers to that place through Seamless or whatever the local equivalent is. I don't know what it is in the UK. You told me it. Deliveroo. So, you know,
like
you can,
a kangaroo.
Yeah, so you can like go into Deliveroo, look at the general neighborhood you're going to be in, and see how many restaurants you'll be able to get, which is pretty cool. And then, you know, looking at, you were saying that some of the grocery stores
Nick
do
Barnett
deliver
gets
there.
me. We need our pad thai.
Yeah. Yeah. She lives on Pad CU.
I know, pad see is my jam.
It sustains her. But yeah, no. So like all that stuff is things that we've been looking into and studying to make sure that we
Yeah,
we
they
can
do
get
have
our
Uber
needed
Eats
food.
there, and I hadn't heard of Just Eat. So thank you for adding that to the list, Mo. We'll have to add that to. We're basically like making, spreadsheets and Evernote lists and stuff of everything we have to think about right
Yeah.
now. Because not just the fact that we're going somewhere, but like right now we're in this huge transition. I think we'd mentioned to you all that we also rented out our house. So there's a lot happening behind the scenes, but we're sharing as much as we can with you guys. Yeah, Nick. Oh, hi, Lori Sims, by the way. So she's saying, hi, everyone. Had to get more propane for the barbecue chicken marinated with mango and papaya. It's the pits when getting ready, and the propane dies. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the worst.
Because you actually have to, like, go out and get it. Yeah. You always are the one that does that for our grill, but yeah, that sucks.
So,
But that sounds like really good dinner, Lori. Hope you like it. Megan's asking, when are we leaving for the UK? Well, we don't have anything booked yet. So as of right, like around the middle of August is our transition. We're transitioning our house to the new tenants. And then we're going to go to Indiana and be with his parents for a little bit. And from there, while we're in Indiana, we're going to make the final call about whether or not we're going to go to the UK or try to do a road trip around the US. But right now, we're actually, like, if you had asked us a month ago, we would have said we're leaning towards a road trip in the US. But right now, we're definitely leaning towards a UK trip because it seems easier.
Yeah, it seems less limiting at this point.
Yeah.
Even though you have to do a 14-day quarantine.
And we have so many connections in the UK that we're like, they're like, yeah, it's come.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. Yeah, and they're like, yeah, we have friends in London who are like, yeah, and once like your 14-day quarantine's over, you can come stay with us for a while, and it's a lot of fun. So we're looking into all that good stuff.
Yeah, we're very lucky to have that. But I
but
mean,
we're
obviously
also,
the UK can change its rules, too.
Yeah.
So we're not getting our hopes up, and we're not booking things until we have to.
And that's the biggest thing is that they can they could change their rules and say, never mind, it's gotten so bad in the U.S. that we don't want you guys to come in here at all, even with the 14-day quarantine. So it's kind of, it is subject to change.
One of my sorority sisters' moms lives in the UK, and she just got on a plane yesterday to go there, and is doing that quarantine thing. And she and I were messaging with each other. And she had kind of said, like, everything seems so much more normal here than in California, where she lives. And I'm like, that's music to my ears.
Yeah. And somebody had written the thing about, being able to justify a 14-day quarantine, and that's very true, is that we also realize that we're very, I don't know, we're lucky that we have the flexibility to say that, we can go do a 14-day quarantine and, you can still do calls, you can still work abroad.
And if we hadn't rented out our house, that
matter.
wouldn't have been as easy of a thing to do.
Yeah. And because we don't have, we won't have a mortgage, starting then, because
we'll have a mortgage. It's just
it'll be covered by rent. But we'll have the flexibility and the financial freedom to go out and do this.
Right.
So, which is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Right. So I feel like we skipped a few things. Hi, Thomas Reiser, by the way. Sorry that I missed saying hi to you before.
Oh
but
man, I missed that too.
You. Yeah. Alrighty. There's like a little gnat in here. That's gonna bother me. Alright, so Nick's saying he's doing a mix of Airbnbs and hotels and he feels fine using either. Yeah, I've the same. You can make hotels as safe as you need to make them.
Yeah.
Too.
I mean, and we stayed at a hotel right at the beginning of all this stuff in Amsterdam, and we felt very safe and fine doing that at the beginning.
You just have to be actively isolating yourself from other people.
And the thing that I love about Airbnbs is that you can get very affordable if you do like a month-long rental And so that's one of the things that we're looking at doing for the first, portion at the first place we stay at, because we're going to have to be there for 2 weeks of not seeing anything and not being able to experience the location, the culture, etc. So the idea is that we would, get a place for a month in a place that we feel like we'd want to explore and hang out and see things around it after the quarantine. And by doing a month long, you can bring down kind of like the nightly rate of your place significantly. So there's some Airbnbs that we found that are like, less than $100 a night if you run it for a month, as opposed to $150 to $200 a night if you do it on kind of, a weekly basis.
Yeah.
So.
Nick D, by the way, hello. I somehow missed that Nick D was on. I think he came on right around when Nick Barnett's was here. He says, hello, everyone. I hope all the animals in the zoo are properly wearing their masks. Somebody must have gone to the zoo, and I missed that.
No, we talked about it.
Oh, sorry. We did talk about it, yeah. Yay.
Musings at Midlife went to the zoo.
Yeah, Laura, nice. And Laura also said, so really every state has their own algorithm.
Basically.
Yeah. And it's not easy to track either. Like, if it was easy to track, I feel like we would be much more suited for a bigger road trip this fall. But it's not even on the state level, because what we're talking about for the city of Chicago, for example, is just for the city of Chicago, not for the suburbs, not for the rest of the state, just if you're in the city of Chicago
not even Cook
limits.
County.
Yeah, like not even, yeah. So the city of Chicago is in Cook County, and there's a lot of other towns in this county, and it doesn't apply to those. So, I mean, it's hard.
Yeah. But Nick actually here raises a good thing, which is bring a lot of granola bars just in case for like the grocery haul when you first get there. And that's actually something that we've been talking about is, what are some of the kind of shelf stable foods that we could pack into our, luggage to bring with us, like, quick oatmeal or something like that.
Yeah, I always love bringing oatmeal, especially to the UK, because you're never going to stay at a place that like doesn't have
like a hot
water heater because of the tea culture.
Yep.
So making oatmeal in the mornings is really easy usually.
Yep.
Instant oatmeal.
And then Katie Smith, just in case you were thinking about like where would we go after the 14-day quarantine, because we wouldn't plan to just stay in Bristol. Mm-hmm. So our thoughts are, I know Bristol. We haven't talked about this all the way yet, but we're thinking Bristol. We definitely want to spend some time in London. We have some friends in London that we want to go see and stay with for as long as they'll have us. And then we also want to make it up to Scotland before it gets too cold, because we're thinking about going out there, call it mid to late September is kind of the time when we're thinking about getting to the UK. And then heading up to, we want to do Scotland, we want to do Northern Ireland, and then we also want to do kind of the Lakes District as well as Wales and all that good stuff. So there's a lot, all of it, pretty much. So.
There's a lot that we have seen in the UK, so we have a comfort already. I lived in London. I studied abroad in London, but there's also like so much more, and so I feel like this is going to be our chance to really dig in and explore like kind of those untapped places that we haven't been, such as Cornwall and the Lakes District. There's a whole section of Scotland that we had to like basically miss when we went to Scotland in 2018 because there's too much to see. So we're excited, and of course go see Mo in Northern Ireland too. Yeah,
and it's one of those funny things where we're thinking through, because with COVID we don't want to just be like a new place every night or every other night even. So we're trying to do a lot of research on good home bases that we can use to then kind of hub and spoke it where we stay in one place, so we don't have to worry about wiping down all the services like every day or every other day. We can kind of do it once and then be good for a week or two. And so we're looking into all that for what we can use at our home bases. And that also, the longer you stay at a place, the less the accommodation costs become, which is also helpful.
Yeah, we found that especially on Airbnb, you can get like a 25% discount or more if you stay a whole month.
Yeah.
So That's nice.
So we don't know that we would stay a whole month in a place except for maybe that first place, but who knows? Maybe.
Yeah. So Mary
I think we
Ellen,
have 6 months before they would kick us out. So.
yeah, we can be in the UK for 6 months, and we gotta get out. Okay, so Mary Ellen Dillon says, I'm trying to figure out how to use vacation time if my October cruises cancel, which, yeah. I'm kind of surprised they haven't canceled yet because I've been hearing so much about cruises canceling, so maybe they don't at this point. But anyway, she said she hadn't thought about traveling to the UK. She can work from anywhere during a quarantine.
Yep.
Let us know.
And
we might be there.
Yeah, and
We
Musings
can
in
hang out.
Midlife is replying to that and saying, OMG, didn't think about being able to work during quarantine. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty, right, is that if you do have kind of a remote work setup.
Like, we...
Yeah. It gives you some freedom and flexibility. And, we decided to take kind of an extreme measure, which was running out our house and kind of taking that, big overhead out of the equation, putting a bunch of stuff in storage, and kind of hitting the road for a bit. So that's not for everybody.
And
Again, I would say it's an extreme,
work.
and it's a lot of work, a lot of upfront work, but hopefully it pays off in the long run. And
he's making me choose which clothes. No, just kidding. I'm actually pretty good about that.
But yeah, no. So it's it's a process, but it's a labor of love. It's going to allow us to do hopefully some really cool stuff.
Yeah. That's another thing that we wanted to talk about being able to work during quarantine. There's like a couple of different things that we were going to, like bullet points that we had prepared about how to prep for a quarantine. And if that quarantine involves working, one of the things, especially because we would want to keep doing live streams and stuff like that with you guys, one of the things that's super important for us with any sort of Airbnb rental is asking in advance, like, what are your upload and download speeds? Because if we need to make Zoom calls or FaceTime with our families or do these live streams, we need, faster internet than you'll often find in, vacation accommodations. Yep. So it's one of those things where maybe it's not something you would typically have thought to ask that question during a normal vacation, especially like one in 2019. But in 2020, it's an important one because we're going to want to stream Netflix. We're going to want to do our calls with our family, everything like that.
These with you, and Eliz will be we'll be putting together videos for the YouTube channel.
Yeah, I need to upload the videos.
Yeah, we don't want that to take 10 hours. Right. So it's just something that you have
especially
to think
if Derek has a call while I'm trying to do, if we're both trying to work simultaneously. So
and given that we're trying for this slow travel approach with this, we'll be at places for longer periods of time. So if you get stuck with a place with terrible Wi-Fi, you're there for a while, and that could be a real bummer.
Yeah. Right. So a couple other things that we had written down. We sort of already talked about this, but access to food in terms of the delivery of groceries, which is actually a different service. So there's delivery of restaurant food, which is Deliveroo, but there's a service in the UK I think it's called Ocala. I could be pronouncing that wrong too. But it's more of the Instacart type thing that you'll find here in the US, where somebody goes to the grocery store, picks out your food, and then delivers it to your home. So we're researching what all of those options look like too. It seems like there's tons of different grocery stores in the UK that have had to expand their home delivery during quarantine. Basically they didn't do it before.
Like Sainsbury's, right?
Yes, and so basically it's been a little bit of a slower uptick in the UK as well than maybe it was here because we already had services like Instacart in bigger cities. So we're learning. We're reading on a lot of online forums and asking our friends who are there, who have done it, and just making sure that we're all set up. So access to food. That was number one. Access to entertainment and work stuff, which we talked about for making sure you download stuff in advance. If you need to have, your shows as soon as you land and have the right internet speeds.
Yeah, and because that's one of the things is that, the streaming services, the types of shows that you have access to on, say, Netflix, is different abroad
Yep.
versus what it is here.
Right.
So looking to see what shows you'll have access to in what jurisdictions might say, okay, as an American, I'm not going to have access to XYZ, so I'm going to actually download those to my device in advance so I can like
Or
watch
invest
it
in
on
a
the airplane.
VPN, which is what we did when we went to China in 2019, in order to have access to like Google and Facebook, and basically I used Gmail for work. Like I needed to have access to Google things. So yeah, I mean we can end up doing that in other countries too. Then access to workouts was also on our list.
Well, that's more about space.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's determining how much space you need in order to stay healthy, because especially in the UK, we would not be able to literally leave the property. So we wouldn't be able to go for the walks that maybe we could do here in Chicago at least. So doing home workouts like yoga or P90X or something like that, just first of all having access to that, and being able to stream it is important. But then also, if you need to like order a yoga mat in advance, or some sort of weight thing to your quarantine destination, knowing that, for example, Amazon.co.uk can deliver to your address there is important. So it's like researching those types of things too. But yeah.
And Nick P is saying, so even if you download a show in the US, if you don't have access to it in the other country, it will not work even if it's downloaded. However, if you keep it on airplane mode airplane mode, I think you should still be able to watch it because it won't know exactly where you are. So that's what I was talking about. So if you have a phone that you don't plan to actually utilize as like a cell phone, you should be able to at least watch it on your phone. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
But-
And then another huge consideration, we probably should have said this one first, but this was literally the first thing that we looked up, was what does healthcare coverage look like? So for us as Americans, we would be taking out like travelers health insurance that also covers coronavirus, just out of like extreme caution. However, the UK, as a country, amazing that they are, has pledged that whether you're a citizen or not, you can get free testing for coronavirus, and if you have it, that you get free, like if you have it, then you get free healthcare to
for
treat
that.
it.
Yeah, for that.
So like if I broke my arm, then I wouldn't get like free healthcare there, but like if I had that, then I would. That being said, like we were mentioning, we would also take out supplemental coverage, and
it's fairly reasonable actually. We looked it up. There's like kind of one company that provides COVID protection for travel insurance, and it's a different rate
and
depending
not
on
just
what
abroad,
countries you're
but
going
here
to.
too. Like
This is specifically for travel. You click a button saying whether or not your travel includes the United States or not.
yeah,
Because I think if it does, it jumps up the price. But given that we're just going to be in the UK, it's fairly affordable. Call it 100 and change per person, I think, per month. Which at the end of the day, for a little bit of peace of mind, and it includes repatriation expenses in the case of an extreme emergency. So it's kind of important to get and have.
yeah. I mean, it's the most important. And then, okay, so another thing that we're considering, of course, is just cost. So while it would have been so great to quarantine in London, because I just love it there and I have friends there and stuff, so they'd be a little bit closer if anything happened. It's the most expensive city there, so we started kind of looking at what else is feasible, and really fell in love with the idea of Bristol because it's just a little bit cheaper, and if we're not going to be leaving the house for a quarantine anyway,
Yep.
finding an affordable option is really important.
And, it has that added benefit that Eliz already mentioned of being kind of central to a lot of things that we do want to see and do while we're there. It's a 30-minute drive from there to Bath, for instance. And initially, I was actually looking at Bath a lot.
Yeah, he found an Airbnb in Bath.
That was awesome.
Is beautiful.
Gorgeous. It was like $98 a night for a month. It was awesome. And it has a cool outdoor space and all this other stuff. But, it falls a little short on some of the other boxes to tick, such as food delivery, restaurants for delivery, and things like that during the quarantine. So, oh well. But
we'll get there though, because Bristol, like you said, is really close. So once quarantine's over, we can go.
Yeah. So real quick, Lori Sims is saying that I checked with the tour guy, and they're still booking for Italian tours small group.
Wow.
So that's cool. Hopefully that Italy trip can happen.
Yeah, that's hopefully. Mary Ellen says, I'd be at my niece's in Georgia if their numbers weren't so high because I can work there from there as well from my living room. Yeah, yep. We are in a similar place with that. One of my best friends, who we introduced and is now married to one of Derek's best friends, just moved to Atlanta. And they want nothing more than for us to go visit them. So we're trying to figure out what makes sense.
Yeah. Thomas Reiser says that Hilton puts stickers on the door that shows that no one has been in the room.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's kind of like, it's not even a sticker. It's like a seal on the door. It's cool.
Yeah. And Nick P is saying, even with going overseas, it's hit or miss on if attractions are open.
Yeah.
Definitely something to consider with COVID. And that is something that I've been looking into, with Europe. Especially for me, it becomes a lot more about, there's a lot of things that, don't need to be open for you to enjoy them. Like, for instance, if you were to take the Scottish Highlands, there's a lot of things that you can do and see that they don't close down. It's just like natural paths and all that stuff that you can kind of just drive to, see, and still kind of enjoy. Mm-hmm. Even just driving through the Highlands is a awesome experience. And then there's a lot of castles that maybe they won't be open for tours going inside, but you can still drive up to them, go to the parking lot, take pictures of them, and like kind of sightsee from a distance that way. So probably wouldn't go into a busy castle right now with COVID, but
especially because the staircases are so narrow.
Yeah, talk about you can't social distance going up the turrets and stuff. You just can't do it. So, but I would go to like Eilean Donan Castle in Scotland. Go to the parking lot, pull out the stuff, and take like the pictures and stuff, and you can get phenomenal shots of the castles, which is what I'm all about. So.
Yep.
Castles.
Yep, we love them.
Yeah.
Who doesn't though?
Musings at Midlife is saying that for backpacking, I bring some tortillas and tuna packets, and it works.
Nice. Derek says he's always one tortilla away from a taco. I don't know if
tuna
you were there
tacos.
For that.
Yum yum. Yum yum. She doesn't like tuna.
Yeah, so I'm kind of weird about tuna. I like almost every other fish. But yeah.
And this
I know that I'm the weird one. I'm not trying to like...
Everybody likes tuna fish. Sure, not... You like sushi, but you don't like tuna sushi. That's weird. That's odd. Mo is saying that... he's agreeing with Nick and saying that he was supposed to go to a few castles in the States, but they had to be booked online a week in advance.
Yep.
So that's good to know as well.
If we're in quarantine, we should just start booking castles.
Booking things up, yeah. And then Ruth is saying if you're going that late in the season, it'll be pretty short days in northern British Isles.
That is true. Yep. And so we went to the last time we were in the UK was last November, over our anniversary, which is 11/11, and it was very short days, and that was even a month and a half before the solstice. So we're aware, but it's fine.
Vega Bonnie
short
says.
Days here too.
Vega Bonnie is saying for travel, it's like the United States relationship status is it's complicated. Which is funny. That's really
accurate.
Funny.
Megan says the U.S. COVID policy is so all over the place. Yeah, it's hard to make solid plans.
Yeah.
It's the whole Minesweeper joke, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that again is why we are thinking about going abroad.
Yeah,
because we think it might
she
be a little
hopes
bit
the
easier.
Schengen area opens for the U.S. by the time we get there. You and me both, lady.
Well-
if by the time we got, like, even any time this fall, if I could go to France, I'd be so happy.
Well-
and Spain.
Well, my thing is that I would. It'd be nice if it opened to the extent where they say, "Hey, if you're coming from another country that
Yeah.
is allowed,
Like if you've already
without
quarantined
quarantine,
in the
yeah.
UK.
So if we've already quarantined in the UK, can we go to
Yeah.
Schengen?" And that would be really cool. And for those who don't know, Schengen would be like a lot of the European Union.
So like my friend that I had mentioned earlier, her and her husband just got their UK citizenship in 2019. So they could use their passports for that. They don't have to use their American passports. But I have another American acquaintance in the UK who can only travel within the UK right now, despite the fact that she lives there. For the most part, like I think if you can prove your permanent residency somewhere else in advance of going there and like work with the consulate, she could go somewhere else. But I think she's like, it's tricky.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice if those regulations at least ease a little bit, but
Yeah, and Lori is saying that she keeps getting step notices about COVID warnings and what is open and closed, and BA is currently still allowing her flight to Italy in September, which is interesting.
that is interesting.
So I wonder what the rules are with Italy.
I remember her talking about that flight though, and my assumption was that it was through London, so it's not BA that would cancel her. Do you remember we were talking about that on the last one?
But like Musings at Midlife says, I hope that you do make it to Italy because that would be awesome. And
Yeah.
I would be jealous.
Yeah. Slash, we would go with you.
Melinda's saying if I can't convince Trace, I think you guys need to adopt me for the next 6 months so I can go also.
Let's go.
But she's not currently on board.
Oh.
Well, hopefully you guys can figure something out, but it'll be fun.
Yeah. I'm
Katie
glad
Smith,
that, I
haha,
guess it's
adopt me
good
too.
that Derek and I are kind of like on the same page with these things, because I can't imagine how chaotic our planning would be if we couldn't make a decision together like that. But yeah, I mean, keep us posted. I know you guys are actively considering different options too, and we want to hear as much as you have to tell us. What is Mary? Okay, Mary Ellen says.
All right, so she's saying, how do you find out what you need for internet? I don't even know what speeds I have right now or what
Great question.
need for work.
There's an app called Speed Test.
Yep.
That we have on our phones ever since we got our internet at this home. And that'll tell you your upload and download speeds. Like it like runs a quick check. And there's like a minimum upload and download speed for being able to, for example, live stream. So it also is kind of like that same. You can Google. I'm not sure what it is for like a Zoom call or something like that off the top of my head, but
Yep.
I'm sure a quick Google search will tell you like what you need to know.
Yep.
And I'm hoping that Airbnb start to like wise up to that and get faster internet as a result.
Because, I mean, that'll be a determining factor on, what place we end up staying at,
Yep.
actually.
Yeah.
And not only that, but, I mean, if you look at, you should be able to Google for, like, Zoom and other things that you might use on a regular basis, kind of what are the recommended minimum speeds, and then make sure that they are hopefully well above that, so.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people kind of talking about how, you should be able to find that out, maybe from your employer or other things about, what they recommend as well if you work remotely.
Yeah.
Nick D, if you have to quarantine for 2 weeks, you're really going to get caught up on EastEnders. Yes.
We've never seen EastEnders. I've heard all about it, but that's really funny.
Well, yeah, that'll be fun, and it won't be quite as fun as like when we were in
for those
Argentina
of you who don't know it,
watching
it's like
dubbed Spanish movies, like Groundhog's Day in
oh yeah, that's
Spanish.
I meant to
That was
add
fun.
this to the thing. So obviously getting really good internet is going to be important, but we probably would also bring our Google Chromecast,
Yep.
or like an HDMI cable, maybe both.
Probably both.
But if we were able to like put it on our phones or on our computers and then cast it to the TV, then we both can watch in like leisure versus crowding around a laptop. So if you're somewhere for 2 weeks and you really can't leave, that's something to think about.
Yeah, so Thomas Reiser was saying that we definitely need to get a VPN, and he has one so we can watch BBC and ITV.
Smart. Yeah, we
Very nice.
had one. We used ExpressVPN when we were in China, but if anybody has VPN service recommendations, especially for the UK in particular, please let us know, because we're potentially in market. Righto. Scorpio Sue,
welcome. Hey.
Thanks for joining. So fun to have Sue on.
Yeah. So Nick P saying that the risks of healthcare costs are definitely a big reason I've given up international travel. I'll wait a few years before going back overseas. Yeah, and that's definitely something to think about. And that's one reason why the UK is such an attractive. The way that they're approaching healthcare with COVID is pretty attractive,
and their whole healthcare system speaks the same language that we speak.
Yep.
Which I think I mentioned last week with you guys. For me, that's very important. Might not be as important for you guys, but I want to be able to communicate. So, if I had an issue.
Yeah.
Where did you leave off?
Okay, so Lori Sim says, I have looked at international COVID insurance. There are many options, but I'll go with Alliance as they are now covering COVID as I used them for the last 5 years. Oh, okay, that's nice. I didn't know Alliance was now covering COVID, so that's pretty cool. I'll have to look that up. When I was looking previously, I could only really find one that I don't remember what the name of the company is, but it was something that I hadn't heard of before.
It was like 7 something, or
Yeah,
I don't remember. Yeah, I hadn't heard of it before either, but that's one that I have heard of. Yeah. So hopefully there's going to be a growing list.
Nick P, imagine trying to social distance at the Tower of London. LOL. Yeah, no. I can't imagine like social distancing in a lot of places in Europe, like going inside of them. So we might be more of the outside look at the pretty building kind of tourist this time.
But like we've never been to Hadrian's Wall, and Derek is a huge history buff for that era, and there you could socially distance.
Yeah.
So it's choosing the right places. We've been thankfully to the Tower of London many times. It is my favorite attraction in London, hands down.
Yeah.
So we'll probably just have to skip it if we go this time.
Musings at Midlife is telling us that they also have chicken packets too, so you don't have to
tuna.
You don't have to have tuna.
Yay! You can have the chicken of the sea, and I'll have the chicken.
Yeah. Mary Ellen is saying that she lived in Atlanta for 20 years and wished that she felt more comfortable traveling there now. Hope to when things settle down.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of reasons that people might be uncomfortable traveling to Atlanta right now, and it's not just COVID. So there's a lot of upheaval. So Galvanting Gals, we use Allianz as well, but when I looked, it said it was covering COVID through July 31 as a courtesy, but would not cover after that date. So
and that's tomorrow.
That's
so
important.
we should figure that out.
And Lori says, "Oh no." Okay, yeah. So.
Okay.
I feel good about the one that we had looked up because they actually specifically created a product for COVID, which I feel pretty good about. So let's see. Nick Barnett, I like tuna sandwiches, but they must be eaten right after they're made, not packed and eaten half a day later. Yeah, gets stinky.
I would have to concur. And I'm not even eating them. It's just like if Derek eats it, I'd be like, ooh.
Drew has a hack for everybody, which is if you're eating tacos, bring a spare tortilla and use it as a plate. That way, if/when the stuff falls, you have a backup taco. Nice.
Love it.
Nice. Or you can just be really good at folding a tortilla and not spill.
Derek taught me how to fold tortillas and tacos. Like, I literally...
She still doesn't do it right.
No, but I'm so much closer. But you have to eat it a certain way, too. So, like...
You gotta pinch. You gotta pinch the bottom.
Yeah. Maybe would you guys like him to do a little tortilla tutorial? That's hard to say, tortilla tutorial.
Maybe when we're in the UK.
Yeah, we have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
That'd be really
We'll do like a countdown of our quarantine, and by day 12, it's like, here's how you wrap a tortilla.
Please watch us while we're in the UK. I'm sorry.
Drew
I'm just picturing that. It's
Drew was saying I got my bachelor's in taco studies from Indiana University. I highly recommend it. Nice. Our alma mater. Okay, so Megan Morris. So I am highly doubting my October Japan trip will happen. They aren't even letting Canadians in at this point, which means that we're definitely not allowed in. So desperate to go anywhere, I booked Playa del Carmen for the last week of August.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, I know that certain YouTube people are going to Mexico coming up. I think that's becoming more and more a consideration for people.
Yeah. And Thomas Reiser is saying that he had to cancel his Alaska trip
know.
as too many things were canceled by vendors.
I felt
Sucks.
so bummed for you, Thomas, especially because he was going to go to Alaska kind of as like a plan B from going to the UK. We just had a friend go to Alaska last week, though, and she had a great time. So I know that you in particular, Thomas, were looking forward to the Alaskan Railroad experience, and I think that maybe had canceled. And it's one of those things where you probably still could have gone and found things to do, but if your top choice thing you can't do, then I guess why go? Yeah.
Yeah. And Vegabani is saying that KLM has canceled the flight to Kenya in September, and she'll get a full refund, which is actually good news because Safari had already been canceled.
Oh yeah, I do remember
So that's good.
I'm glad to hear that they finally canceled that for you.
Yeah.
I was worried when you told us, I think it was like a month ago, that the Safari canceled, but your flight hadn't. Yeah. That's good.
And
Good, but a bummer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Scorpio Sue is saying that she went to Barnes & Noble and stared longingly at the travel section. That sounds like you. That sounds like you just... Oh.
That's an activity that I would participate in. Yep. Yep.
I
mean, I packed most of my travel books already, but like I'm kind of staring longingly at the travel section.
She
in this
kept
office.
like the England, Scotland, Wales, Great Britain books. We have a lot.
We have a lot.
London.
Yeah,
Best day trips from London.
I live.
We have a lot of
there.
books on the UK. So
We sure do.
We got some reading to do. Nick Barnett, ever since I got an HDMI cable, I've gotten spoiled and can't enjoy watching an entire show or movie on my computer without hooking it up to a TV anymore.
Yeah, I watch YouTube
Same thing
on
with
TVs.
Chromecast. Ever since that.
Like, I watch YouTube on the big TV. I will stream, like, yoga classes on the big TV. The laptop experience is not as satisfying sometimes. Even like with the Walters World live streams, we'll stream the actual live stream on the TV, and then
we'll have it on our phones.
Yeah.
Or she'll have it on her computer, I'll have it on my phone.
Yeah.
So we can still be active in the chats, but have it on the big screen.
And it gets them more views, so.
It does. It gives them 3 views.
3 views for the price of 2.
Yeah, it's nice. Megan Morris is saying, yeah, the deals are unreal right now. I've done Mexico in August, and it's not the best time of year to go, but I'm thankful to be going anywhere right now. And that is true. You can get some really good deals right now. We were looking at like American, which is what I have the most points with from all my work travel. We are able to get round trip first class.
Like above business class.
Yeah,
Actual
like
first
class for like 65,000 miles there and like 55,000 miles back, which is pretty amazing, considering that when we were scrambling to get back from Europe, right when the announcements happened when we were in Amsterdam, about the closing of the U.S. border and stuff, it was going to cost us 110,000 miles just to come back to the U.S. per person, not even in business class. That was like in premium economy. So considering that we can do round trip for almost that same amount in first class is pretty amazing. So.
Yeah, and we didn't really talk about that yet. Yeah, that's also a huge consideration for us too. Is being able to set up ourselves to be very separate when we go there within the airport and within the airplane. You know, we'd want to make sure that we had kind of our own space on the airplane just for safety.
Yeah, Galvin Gallows is saying that Rick Steves has all of his guides on sale for $5 each right now on his website.
Oh, neat.
We did not know that. We're going to have to go check that
Rick
out.
Steves is like so fun to follow during quarantine, in my opinion.
he posted something on like Instagram, which was like him missing Europe, and was like him standing by the bathroom where the thing said like 50p to use the bathroom or something like that.
And he had like toilet paper in his hand and
it was
Kleenex.
It was super funny. I thought it was hilarious. Nick Barnett's is saying, so I am planning to resume international travel at the beginning of 2021, depending whatever the heck is going on by then. Yeah. And again, that's one of those things where right now, the reason why we're doing it now as opposed to, just waiting is that for us, we do have some time right now to actually go do this, and we just don't know what the future holds. So we want to make sure that we while we can get into the UK, if we can sneak in, we're gonna. So time to do it. Scorpio suit.
No, we're not gonna sneak in.
Not sneak in.
We're going to follow every single rule.
Follow every rule quietly.
Let's not go there.
Yeah, so Scorpio Sue says that the Tower of London is amazing. We spent hours and hours there and it wasn't enough. That's like her number one place to go to in London as like a tourist attraction.
And I love just
so good
going to the Crown Jewels first. Okay, so you arrive when
we've said this so many times.
I know, I'm sorry, but it's just I have to hammer it home. Just
gotta refill.
Go to the Crown Jewels first. Be like one of the first people there, so that way you get all the time there, because that place fills up so quick. And talk about not social distancing. I have no idea what it's like now, but it's just nice to have more time there. And then you can go take the Beef Eater tour, and there's like really no purpose of going to the Tower of London without taking the Beef Eater tour, because it is so informative and so much fun. And there's just an immense amount of history that has happened at that particular location, because it used to be a castle, it used to be a prison, everything. There's like moats and people live there now. So it's so interesting to just hear everything from the Beef Eaters. Yeah, that was me gushing about Tower of London again. Let's move on. And then Nick Barnett's, he agrees, loved my visit there for the first time I ever went to London. Nick Barnett's, killing it again. And then Mo says, there was news recently that almost 1,000 Beef Eaters, yeoman guards, will lose their jobs for the first time in like 600 years. I just got the chills from that, actually. I'm really upset about that. I did not hear. That sucks. I hate that.
Yeah, that's a bummer. And Mo saying that's how bad Corona's affected tourism in the UK, among other things.
Yeah, and it's like we were saying, it's harder to socially distance at some of those places.
Drew is saying, though, Tuesday tortilla tutorial. There we go. That'll come out of quarantine.
Yeah.
And Nick is saying, I feel like there will be some fun videos coming from you guys as you try to stave off boredom in the UK quarantine.
Yep.
Maybe we'll do like 14 days of quarantine videos.
That'd be fun.
That would be fun. It'd be a good challenge.
I'm not good.
Give us ideas, guys. Send them our way.
I've found that that Mark Walters has been posting just some really casual videos lately. I'm not good at that, but I should be, because I guess when I do those videos, it's on my Instagram stories, and I should pivot those onto YouTube, build up the content there.
Megan Morris is saying, tip for anyone with Amex cards, which we have. Found an offer on my Platinum and my Delta that give you $5 back when you spend $10 at a designated local business. Local liquor store counted in my area.
Even more awesome.
We go to liquor stores, so that's good to know. We'll need to check that out. And the offer can be used 10 times.
That's great.
Wow.
So,
all right.
Grubhub, I posted about this too, on the internet. So if you guys already saw this from me, I'm sorry. But Grubhub, which is like the big food delivery service here in the U.S., you can get 10 American Airlines miles per dollar spent if you go through the Amex shopping portal right now. Or sorry, if you go through the American Airlines shopping portal right now. So if you're itching for ways to keep earning miles, definitely check out those shopping portals.
Yeah. Scorpio Sue says, I love standing someplace like the Tower of London and thinking, this was built in 1066.
I know. It's incredible.
Such history. That's
being
crazy.
at like Notre Dame or Westminster Abbey, all of those places, it's just mind-blowing. And especially the fact that they were able to build those things so long ago without scaffolding and stuff. Man, it's impressive.
Yeah. And Nick's telling us what his modified road trip thing is going to be. And yeah, it sounds pretty awesome. Yeah, you just need to make sure you hit Illinois before you go to the places that are no-goes if you plan to hit Chicago.
Illinois, yeah, it's if you plan to go to Chicago. That's what I was going to say.
So.
Because Illinois is not the same rules as Chicago. I don't know.
Bonnie.
I couldn't even tell you. Like, that list is like, there could be rules, but I haven't.
I have no idea.
It's just it's gotten so out of hand being able to track it all.
Yeah, it's tough. So Bonnie is saying that I'm patient about getting my flight refunds. I look at it like I'm giving them a mini loan, which will help their cash flow, and they have a better chance of staying in business, so I can get said refund.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, I was that way with our flights. You know, this was miles, so it didn't matter. But like with American. You know, I noticed that I only got half of my miles refunded when we didn't actually end up taking the flight back. And only 2 days ago...
The flight back to the U.S. from Amsterdam on American.
We had booked it 2 flights, 110,000 miles each, so 220,000 miles in total. When we didn't take that, instead flew Delta, because that flight kept getting delayed. You know, I called, you know, probably a month after we were back, to get all of those like reinstated, and they reinstated only half of them. And then I waited until like this week when we actually started looking at how much flights cost to get to the Amsterdam, realized that, oh man, hadn't gotten all of them back, and then I was able to get them back in like 5 minutes, so it was pretty easy.
Yeah, luckily the customer service lines aren't as backlogged.
Yeah, they're not as backlogged as they used to be.
Yeah.
Because they were crazy.
They were.
Yeah.
Yep, Mary Ellen says a friend of hers just got back from Cancun and said the resort there was great.
I'm sure it was.
We're hearing good things about Mexico. Hopefully travelers are staying safe there. I haven't really heard much about like actual social distancing practices and stuff in Mexico though. We should look into that.
Yeah. Blaine! Hey, if you've already taken off, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah,
we really appreciate it.
We're a little behind, but hopefully, I don't think we're too far behind. Hopefully,
yeah, but he was only stopping in for a
hi.
minute because it's been a long day. So.
Yeah. Thanks for joining, just even for a minute.
But Nick D is telling us that he watches Means to Travel on his TV. Your TV stars.
Yeah. Thanks, Nick
Very
D.
cool.
That's the way to do it.
Yes.
You gotta cast it. You can see like all of us.
Oh man, I didn't do my makeup this time.
Ooh yeah, maybe we should
I
start.
didn't shave either.
Yeah.
Here. Sorry guys.
Nick D knows.
How do I show up in 4K?
Oh my
The
gosh.
bags under my eyes are just so dreamy.
Oh my goodness.
Lori Sims, I was thinking about Oaxaca or Bali in the end of September or early October. If it works, Bali seems to have fewer cases at this time. Depends if Italy is a dud.
Nice.
Bali would be super dope.
Didn't know that Bali was letting us in, so that's
Yeah.
good to know.
The question is, how do you get to Bali?
Yeah, but
Hard to get to.
there's certain places that I think you can fly through.
Yeah.
Steve's sale just popped. Yeah. Let us know. Have any of you guys been wanting to order guidebooks? This is a pop quiz. Just a question. It's not really a quiz. But we have not purchased guidebooks during quarantine yet. But obviously we haven't been traveling. But I'm a huge fan of guidebooks, so I'm curious if anybody else out there has been ordering them for planning purposes and stuff.
Tyler Hansen's on. What's up, buddy?
Hi, Tyler.
Sneak in there. We'll try.
Sneak into the UK.
It's going to be hard. And Mary Ellen is saying I need to check out the Rick Steve sale.
Yeah.
And Scorpio Sue is saying Beefeater Tour is 3 thumbs up. Apply to take the Ceremony of the Keys. Totally worth it.
Ooh, I never did that. Oh, we gotta go back.
And Nick P saying that the Beefeater that gave his tour last year was hilarious. I agree.
Yeah.
Jason Gore's on.
Hi, Jason Gore.
Holy cow. What's up, buddy?
Oh my gosh, welcome.
Good to see. I think this is the first time I've seen you on here. That's awesome. Welcome. And he says, just watch Googlebox. You'll be fine.
No, Gogglebox.
Oh, Gogglebox.
Yeah.
That's all Googlebox. What's Gogglebox?
I'm assuming it's some sort of UK show. We're gonna have to tune in.
Yeah, we're gonna have Catherine give us all the
Thanks for joining, Jason.
awesome stuff to watch. Nick D, I find the security at the Tower of London to be very uptight. They get very upset when I try to take one little jewel as a souvenir. Funny. Funny how that happens. Gallivanting Gals, dinner's ready. Have fun. Bye, gals. Thanks for joining.
Sorry we missed you, but thanks for joining.
Really appreciate
really fun
it.
to have you.
And then Tyler Hansen is digging the facial hair, young man.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Derek decided to just kind of...
I'm trying to remember, Tyler, if you're older than me. I think you might be slightly older than me, because your birthday is in December.
Yeah.
So you're slightly older than me. Drew, speaking of alcohol, any favorite drinks, cocktails you've had in your travels that you'd recommend trying at home?
Ooh, that's a great question.
That's a good question.
You do a lot more cocktails than I do.
I like trying the local thing. So when I was in Singapore, for instance, we had to try Singapore Slings.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like fruity drinks, that's a good one. It's tasty.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in Italy, Aperol Spritz is super popular and yummy. She can't do it because it has oranges in it, but it tastes really good.
So backstory to why I don't do a ton of cocktails is I'm allergic to oranges, which different alcohols are orange-based that a lot of bartenders might not think about. They'll just be like, oh, we don't have an orange garnish or something, or orange juice. But yeah, so I just have to be kind of more careful than average.
Yeah. But yeah, so Aperol Spritzes can be really good. It's not my favorite thing, but in a hot day, it's pretty refreshing. Singapore Sling. What else?
I love anything that has cucumbers in it,
Yeah,
but that's
cucumbers.
not really like travel.
No, it's not travel. That's more like...
That's just a preference.
Just that thing.
That's like a personal choice.
That thing. Something that's like, yeah.
But we definitely lean towards wine as being the way to travel vicariously through alcohol.
And we like trying local wines, even places where it might not be known for wine so much. And you can find some really cool stuff that way. Like, people don't usually think of Uruguay as a place for wine. But if you go to Uruguay, you'll find that they make a really delightful wine called Tanat that they just happen to drink most of it, so it doesn't really get distributed outside of Uruguay that much. But it's delightful. So
yeah. And then Nick says, yeah, airlines take forever for refunds. Waiting for one of 2 refunds I'm supposed to get from SAS for my Sweden, Denmark trip in March that COVID-19 ruined. What? Oh, I didn't even know about that.
But he's saying they're kind enough to reassure me that they haven't forgotten about me and that it's coming. LOL. Wow.
Man.
What's taking so long?
That's taking quite a while. Sorry about that.
Okay, so Scorpio Sue is saying that United Miles Shopping just had a Kohl's deal, 9 miles per dollar. And we actually just did a Grubhub deal through that was like 10 10 miles per dollar.
Yeah.
So we got like 500 miles for a $50 sushi order, which was nice.
So Lori's saying that she doesn't like American Airlines, and it's funny you say that because since we live in a hub here in Chicago, the planes themselves are really good. Like the staff's really great here, but
the lounge is awesome.
The lounge is next level.
Yeah.
Awesome. But if you are in other cities, it's kind of, this is the same for a lot of airlines. Like the just experience flying them when you're not at a hub airport is often just a little bit less nice. Delta is a perfect example of that. Like here in Chicago, the experience flying Delta is completely night and day to like the experience in Minneapolis or Detroit nearby. So I think it all kind of just depends where you're at.
Nick Barnett, yes, your faces have shown up on the same TV screen as some of the world's biggest stars.
Wow, we're in good company yet again.
That's awesome. So, Musings at Midlife. I just ordered 5 from Rick Steves. Just now. I ordered 2 for Paris a couple of weeks ago.
Rick Steves should, like, pay us a commission.
God. We need to become affiliates. Frost Element, welcome.
Welcome, Frost Element.
How you doing? Next big trip is an African safari in August of 2021, then Prague Half Marathon, March of 2022. Wow, that's awesome. That's really cool.
That's great.
Prague Half Marathon, that's really, really neat. I assume you run half marathons on the regs. Otherwise, that's a really cool reason to travel. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We've never been to Prague or on African safari, so jealous.
I know, and we want to do both.
We want to do both.
So we genuinely are jealous. Welcome, Walter's World, by the way. It sounds like he'll be right back. He has to go film Jocelyn cooking.
Jocelyn cooking.
But
What's
I think
up?
we skipped something Nick was saying. Did we talk about this?
Oh, yep, nope. So, Nick P is saying, that's like for my visit to New Mexico, they have a 14-day quarantine for out-of-staters. But when checking with my hotel, they said I can still stay there. You always have to read the fine print because they make it seem like I couldn't stay in this state not being from New Mexico. Just got to stay vigilant with all the changing rules. I've been staying on top of these places, which is good.
Awesome.
Which is really good.
Yeah, and it's so impressive that you've been able to map all this out, and I'm always telling you on these things and also on the internet of other places, I am just like so excited to follow along on your trip because you're going to go to a lot of cool places.
Scorpio Sue is saying that she just bought Seoul, Eastern Europe, and Lisbon guidebooks.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Wait,
got to start planning those trips now. Well, I mean, why not?
I feel like we should probably start. I mean, while the getting's cheap, we should get some new guidebooks, like 2020 ones.
We can't do them right now because that would be a very boring live stream for us to be like, wait a minute, guys.
Yeah.
But we will be doing that after this. That would be good.
Yeah, because our Great Britain ones from years ago. That would probably be a good one to get.
Sure. Katie Smith, thank you for joining us. Hopefully you have a very nice dinner, and thank you for the wonderful chat.
Yeah.
So, I just saw the Walter's World thing. That's funny. Yeah. So, Lori is saying that Bali opens mid-September, looking for late or early October. If that works, flights are under $700 round trip from LAX. That's awesome.
That's cool.
That's a great deal.
We might add that as plan C.
Bali.
Thank you.
Yeah,
for the tip.
I agree with Megan Morris. I would go for sure if they are letting us in. Yes.
Yeah.
Mary Ellen's asking, do we have any favorite guidebooks?
I lean. So it's funny because I hear the Walter's World crew don't love Rick Steves' hand-drawn maps, but I have never had an issue with them. So I do really, really like Rick Steves' guidebooks because they actually make me laugh out loud sometimes, just about how honest they are about certain things while you're traveling, and the word choices. But when it comes to informative stuff. I guess Lonely Planet is also pretty great, and I do like photos. I don't think I've bought a Frommer's or a DK in a really long time. DKs, because their photos are typically color, they're just heavier books too,
Yeah.
so they're just harder to carry around.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
I'm sure I'm forgetting a few brands as well.
yeah, I'm less about books. I don't do as many books. That's probably because I have her, so I just
Yeah,
grab it from her.
because I have the book.
She has the book. But I like doing like online research and using things like Instagram to find things I want to go do and see. So I'll use that a lot.
Instagram is really helpful for that.
Because of the geolocation, geotagging and stuff, you can kind of look up a city and see like, oh, what are the sites that a lot of people are going to and whatnot, and is it worth my time? What's it actually look like?
Yeah.
As somebody who does like photography and loves photography, that's really what I'm all about. So I look that way.
It's shockingly helpful.
Yeah. Not
You
learning a
just
lot
kind
of
of
history with it, but
you have to know. You're right. But like for food, for example, if you pass by a restaurant while you're traveling, you can go to that restaurant's Instagram page and like look at all of their food and
Yep.
see what people are saying and stuff.
or
And
see like what people have like tagged to it if they have like an active handle and stuff like that, which can be cool because you can see like, oh, that looks amazing, like I want to eat that.
Yeah.
You know?
So from a day to
I like
day,
it.
just trying to figure out, restaurants and bars and everything like that, Instagram is surprisingly a great tool.
Nick Barnett says, you're allergic to oranges? Wow, that sucks.
Yeah.
And Mary Ellen
Does
says
suck.
that she is also allergic to oranges.
No way.
You guys are in the Oranges Club.
Okay,
the No
wait,
Oranges
Mary
Club.
Ellen. So I'm allergic to oranges, but
Only navel.
yeah, only I
The-
can have mandarin oranges.
And grapefruit.
And grapefruit,
stuff.
like all other citrus.
It's just like the regular,
Yeah.
I think, navel oranges that she can't
Is
have.
that what you are? Are you in the same category as that?
She doesn't go into like anaphylactis or anything like that,
No.
but it's like itchy and uncomfortable headache stuff.
Itchy
like
and
that.
achy.
Nick P says my favorite cocktail is like a hurricane. It's really good on Bourbon Street because they make them 2 to 3 times as strong as the standard one. Perfect
Yes.
for if I feel like I want to get hammered.
And
Nick, I'm seeing a
you're
theme
so
here.
tall that I feel like you're gonna need it. You need all of that.
I'm seeing a theme because I remember when you said that you loved going and drinking with the Irish and getting drunk with the Irish. So I love it. That's great.
We gotta go to Bourbon Street.
We just
We
need to
have
go to
not.
New Orleans. I've never been to New Orleans.
I know.
Switzerland has lots of wine but doesn't export it. Yeah.
I know, actually, and
Yeah.
I really want to. So Derek got to go to Switzerland for work, so I guess I'm speaking just for myself. But I want to go to Switzerland just for that reason alone,
Yeah.
and
Well,
also the chocolate.
Yeah. Mountains,
all of it. Yeah.
picturesque
Cheese.
beauty,
Yeah.
expensive stuff, watches.
By the time I've eaten all of the cheese and drank all the wine, I don't know if I'll have
And
any
had all
money
the
left.
yeah, we won't have any money left after the chocolate. Raclette, the raclette cheese, so good.
Derek brought home a box of Swiss chocolates though when he went, and it was so appreciated.
Bonnie is saying that she's still waiting for the refund from her trip to India in April. Like I said, I'm patient.
Yikes.
Wow, that's very
Wow.
patient.
I had no idea all of these airlines were still working through refunds for
Yeah.
you guys.
And Nick is saying, well, the one was for a rebook that canceled 2 months later. So if it is the same amount of time as the first refund, the second should be any day now.
Nice.
And Nick P is saying that he feels lucky flying Delta out of Minneapolis. Definitely makes traveling easier living in a hub. Yes, and that again, that's what
Yeah.
that's what we were saying, right? Is that living in an American hub makes American nice and easy. We're in a United hub, but we don't fly it. I think I've only flown United like 3 times in 10 years. So
Yeah. No comment on United. we haven't loved it. That's all I'm gonna
I
say.
haven't had any bad incidents with them.
I have.
Okay.
Remember the flight from Newark to Vegas for me, where I left my wallet on the flight?
That's your fault.
That was my
Come on.
fault, but that was the flight from hell.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, you left that.
Okay.
I don't remember what happened on that flight. Was it just bumpy?
Well, first of all, because there's we flew over this crazy storm, and so going from Newark to Las Vegas, you should never pass over Canada, but we literally had to avoid the storm so much that we went through the middle of Canada and all the way around. The flight was 7 hours long.
Awesome.
Longer.
It's only awesome if you have a good seat. She did not.
I was in the very last row because this is a work trip, and it got booked very last minute. And I had to work the entire time, and the flight was 7 hours long, which is longer than it takes to get to Europe. And I land and halfway through the flight, the guy who sat in front of me passed out, and they had to have a medic.
Holy crap!
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they had to lay him in the aisle so that none of us were able to go to the bathroom. It was a rough flight. It was not my favorite. The guy was okay, but I did leave my wallet on the plane, which don't do that when you go to Las Vegas because the hotels won't let you check in without an ID.
Do you want Best of
so
Scotland?
My coworker had to spot me. Best of Scotland? No, not yet. Just stop ordering books.
No, Scorpio Sue says that they're running out of books.
Oh, they're running out of books?
I don't know.
We need Great Britain.
Oh no, it's out of stock.
Okay.
Oh.
Calm. It's okay. We'll be fine.
You
Stop ordering books while we live stream.
no, that one's out of print too.
Oh my gosh, we're probably
oh no,
everyone on this live stream is doing this to us.
Oh no.
How is PG? PG is great. Thank you for asking, Nick. He doesn't love the heat, and it's really hot, as it probably is up in Minnesota too. And so he just has been having a lot of allergies as a result, but overall he's still snuggly and adorable as ever.
Alright, I got Scotland.
Oh my god. Wait, did you actually order it?
Not yet, I'm working on them. Add them to the cart. Add to cart. Just
Okay.
got Great Britain.
Cool. That's probably all we need. Wait, our Scotland one's only from 2018. Anyway, let's keep going so we don't bore people. Okay, Thomas says, I like the One Gate Airport on American in Champaign. I bet. I know you've told me about that a lot. I've never been to the airport in Champaign-Urbana, but I'm sure it's incredibly easy if there's only one gate.
Well, that's kind of like when we were on our honeymoon and we were flying through Uruguay in Punta del Este. They have 3 gates maybe, and so it's the easiest airport in the world to fly through. The security is kind of not that it's a joke, but it's just totally different. Where it's just 3 guys with guns, and you put your bag on the tiniest conveyor belt ever, and it goes through a metal detector, and then you're done.
Yeah. By the way, Ronnie, I'm sorry we probably missed you, but thank you for joining and enjoy your dinner.
And Eric B. Did you say hi to Eric B?
Eric B. No, I didn't. Hey.
He's done bowling. He's ready to party.
Woo! Get that. Eric's going to Vegas soon. He's going to Vegas and Zion National Park.
Oh yeah, Zion's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's super easy to drive.
He said
it's
it was
really,
an
really
outrageously
nice.
affordable price.
Oh, I'm sure.
To get
Gotta
there.
be. And Zion in that area is pretty decent from a COVID standpoint, or at least it has been. So that's pretty cool.
Keep going. I saw that somebody's asking for a PG appearance, and there might be few PG appearances left. So I'm gonna go get them real quick.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Go find PG.
Okay.
All right. I don't know where she left off. Nick D is telling Megan that she needs to see his money saving video. It boils down to refuse to pay for stuff. That's funny. Ronnie hopping off to make dinner. Thanks for joining us, Ronnie. We really appreciate you being with us and spending some time with us. It's been fun. Yeah, Scorpio Sue. Yeah, they were running out of some guidebooks. I was just on. That was a bummer. But we'll see. Okay, wow, we didn't know that. Okay. Yeah, Lori Sim says, got to go to Prague. It's beautiful. I assume you're saying that's beautiful because you've been there, you've seen pictures. Yes, we definitely have to get there. It's high on our list. It's been on my list for a long time. I actually had a buddy who lived and worked in Prague for a while, and I really wanted to go while he was there, but it never quite made it onto our travel list. So need to get there. Unfortunately, don't know anybody that lives there anymore. So that's a bummer. Nick D, and if they take you to jail, hey, free room and board. Hey, 3 hots and a cot. Yeah, I guess. Lori is saying, I have enjoyed watching Eurotrotter on YouTube. He is happy and fun-loving with details of his travels. Oh, is Megan bringing him?
Yeah, he was having kind of like a marathon drink of water.
Oh.
And we decided...
I hope he's getting his beard...
Yeah,
oh, nice and sloppy wet now.
He's got to, like, wipe it off next. And
Yeah. That's funny. So, yeah, I've never actually watched Eurotrotter on YouTube. So we'll have to check Eurotrotter out.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Lori likes it.
Yeah.
So, and...
City Mapper has treated her well. Or Nick Burnett's well, him. Yeah, City Mapper is a good app to have. I have that.
Yeah. So Nick is saying one of his favorite things to do when traveling is just walking around the city and wandering around, especially if it's one I've never been to. Yeah, that's one of our favorite things to do as well. Kind of go get lost, which is kind of nice. If it's a big city, doing one of those like hop on, hop off type buses to kind of get a little bit of a sense for the city can be nice. Just at first. If you're going to be there for a few days, that's something that we've done in like Glasgow and other places. So, but yeah, once you do that, if you've been to a place, even a couple times, getting lost in the city can be a really fun way to really experience it and kind of get to know a little bit more of the quirks and intricacies and maybe stumble upon something that's not in a guidebook.
Yeah, as long as you feel
really nice.
Like safe enough in the city.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely places that we've gone that we wouldn't take that approach with.
Yep.
But yeah.
Definitely true.
Glasgow was not one of those.
Yeah. Lori is saying, I don't rely on any review because restaurants change all the time. I look for where locals eat off the beaten path. Yeah. I think finding where locals eat is great.
Part of what we were kind of alluding to and talking about using Instagram to find restaurants. And not just Instagram, you can use a lot of different social platforms, but basically just branching out beyond the guidebooks and beyond like the TripAdvisors can be really helpful. And you never know like what restaurants maybe have newly opened and have a lot more traction, that sort of thing.
Drew is hilarious.
What did he say?
Drew is saying that we need to start a different channel for PG, visiting 13 places, and call it Rated PG-13.
Yep.
Papagino on the Rome. Bonnie is saying Switzerland is expensive. It really is. And Scorpio Sue is saying, do you go to the Christmas market in Chicago? My son got the raclette there. I haven't made it there. I have not been to the Christmas market here.
The Kris Kringle market is what she's referring to. Oh, we have our visitor now. Oh, and we have treats for him. Hopefully he's going to love it here.
He can't hear, so he doesn't...
Yeah.
Come here, bud.
But yeah, so I think I've been once. He's skeptical. I don't know if he likes the lights. But I think I've been once to the Kris Kringle market. You can get some really cool gifts, and I think they have like, good holiday drinks and stuff like that too. So, it's a good place to go if you're in Chicago at Christmas time, if it's open. I would doubt that they're probably going to have it this year. All right, and then Mary Ellen, you say you don't like grapefruit. So you don't know about that, but you break out when you have oranges, so you steer clear. Loved them when you were younger. Allergy started in 6th grade. That sucks. My allergy... Oh, yeah.
He's got the wet beard.
Yeah, he's got the wet beard for sure. Hi. Ooh. Let's wipe
don't
that
wipe it on me. God.
He literally drank just like a gallon of water. I was like, oh, what? Keep
He's
going.
like, guys, where's my treats, man?
Oh yeah, where are your treats? Let's do that. So yeah, he still looks like an Ewok.
Still just loves treats.
Still just chilling. Loves treats.
I think he just swallowed it whole.
Yeah, that sounds right.
He's done chewing already.
Anyway, so yeah, I think it's funny that you had it start in. Oh my gosh, had it start in 6th grade because mine was from when I was an infant. I love the taste of oranges though, so it stinks to be allergic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Nick P, I request my refund from my European airline. Then my bank fronted me the money, so I didn't have to wait for the airline to get my money back. That's awesome. It's a great bank.
Yeah, that is a great bank.
Yeah. So Nick Barnett's sharing a wild ride. So roughest flight I had was a transatlantic flight, which was not only the bumpiest flight ever, but the guy sitting next to me was puking his guts out, which is a nightmare. That's gross. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that can cause other people to get sick too. Because it's like a.
There can be some major crazy bumps over the Atlantic, especially in wintertime, and also over the Rockies in wintertime.
Yeah.
Just something to keep in mind, like it's more normal to experience that kind of extreme turbulence in those parts of the planet. Yeah, during those seasons.
Scorpio Sue is saying, it's okay, we all understand. I assume that's to me trying to buy books.
Yeah, buy
Rick
books
Steves
more.
on the live stream. Oh, Eric B. PG.
Yay, he's here.
He's here. He made it, guys.
Hope you guys missed him and love him.
I missed him, and I've only been without him for
this yoga dog is not the same.
Yoga dog is not PG. Although PG's pretty zen, you know. He's like
he is living, breathing yoga.
You know
dog.
the Tao of Pooh? We're gonna write a book called The Tao of PG.
Yeah.
And it's basically belly rubs and.
Nick P says on his road trip he wishes he had time for Zion National Park, but the Grand Canyon should be sweet as well.
Yeah.
Totally. You are gonna love it.
Yeah, just make sure you know what the Grand Canyon stuff is. I'm sure you've looked all the stuff up, but like what their policies are for entrance and everything. Because what I heard was that they only let people in up till a certain time, and they only let a certain number in. So just make sure that you're prepared for all that.
Yeah. Nick's been doing such great research that he's
I'm
probably all over it.
Sure, he's all over that.
But for those of us...
Darian's here!
Hi, Darian! Oh,
Howdy!
I'm so glad we were able to still be on. Darian, you're so sweet to message me that you were going to be late for.
He said he's been at Cub Scout camp all week,
Whoop, whoop.
and he's here now.
Very cool.
You are the oldest Cub Scout ever. Cub Scout at heart. Just
Once
kidding.
a scout, always a scout. Lori Sim says, was there in 2018 for 4 days. I'm assuming Zion? I'm assuming.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's beautiful there. But so is the Grand Canyon, so can't go wrong. Yeah, and everybody's saying hello. Ooh, shoot. I just skipped. There was a jump. Okay, so Lori says you want to go to get lost
in Venice.
Go to Venice.
Yeah, and that's actually what I heard about Venice as being, you know, you kind of want to get off of that main stretch, even by like 2 blocks, 3 blocks, and it's amazing how quickly it becomes less touristy, which is pretty neat because that's what you want to, you know, go see.
Oh my gosh, I just saw Nick D's joke. Nick D, you're funny.
Just wander around Gary, Indiana, you'll get lost forever. They will never find you. Yeah, Gary's not safe.
Don't do that.
Don't recommend it.
Then Darian heard paw prints. That was you, bud. That's you. He's here, Megan says. Yeah,
he is cute.
He's really pro travel, and he was just here to talk to you guys about all the places that you guys want to go and be your cheerleader on that.
PG's seen some stuff.
Yeah, he's already been everywhere, so he's good.
Thomas Reiser says that he used to go to the Kris Kringle market routinely.
Mm-hmm. So there's, I believe there's 2. There's one in the Loop in Chicago, which is like the downtown central business district, and then there's
big,
there's one up by Wrigley Field too. So yeah, normally. Again, not sure if that's going to happen this year.
Trying to.
PG's so heavy.
Give people a little bit more to see.
Give them what they came for. His bangs are so long, you can't really see his eyes that well.
Yeah, we were actually just laughing that he needs a haircut again.
Yeah.
He needs a haircut more often than I do.
Drew says, petition to replace the stars on the Chicago flag with PG's paw prints. He's the hero we don't deserve.
He really is, you know. He's the
That
hero
would be
we don't
so
deserve.
good. Oh my gosh.
He's ready for it.
Yes. Nick Barnett says, yes, it was wintertime and one of the strongest North Atlantic winter storms in years was blowing through at that time too, so that's why.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I could have guessed. You know, it's funny, like, I think because my best friend's a flight attendant and, like, tells me those types of typical occurrences, when that happens, I can calm myself down a little bit more and be like, okay, this is just nature.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've also never had somebody getting sick next to me on the plane. I mean, that's next level, and I'm so sorry that you experienced that. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, especially for a vacation.
Nick P saying that when you went from Minneapolis, St. Paul to London, the flight, they basically had the seatbelt signs on for 95% of the flight because of the turbulence.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's always such a bummer, too. I mean, I don't know how much food service is happening with flight attendants right now, but it's always such a bummer when there's turbulence throughout a whole flight and they can only do limited service.
Yeah, I don't know how much service is going on right now.
Nick is asking if PG's going to the UK too. He is not.
He is not making it.
Yeah. Nor is Megan. But I'm sure you guys are all concerned about Megan too. But PG. So there's actually important things to know about trying to bring animals to other countries. It's very, very difficult. But that aside, even if it was easy, he wouldn't go because he's just not built for that.
Yeah, he's... Nope.
Yeah.
So somebody was saying something about Venice, though.
I saw about getting lost in Venice. Did you see something else?
Oh, never mind. So, Nick P, I'll be at the Grand Canyon at sunrise, so I'll be good. Rocky Mountain National Park in Estes Park, Colorado, requires a pre-booked time ticket. It's the only national park that requires it that I've seen. That's good to know. I did not know that.
Yeah. I've never been to Rocky Mountain National Park, but I've seen a lot of people are out, out in the national parks right now. It is, July, August timing. A lot of people have time off right now. And I've been following along. It's just, it looks so beautiful.
Yeah. So Nick Barnett is saying that I bet Venice is amazing now. The one time I was there was in early October, and it was nice then. Nice weather and fewer tourists than normal. There's probably a lot fewer than normal right now in Venice, so that would be pretty cool. Actually, Team Coco, I can't think of his name.
I don't know.
The late night host on TBS. Super tall dude. Can't think of his name. Conan O'Brien. Yeah, so Conan O'Brien put out a thing that was as though it was like a European advert for European travel, and they're like, "Come see Europe without Americans," and it was pretty funny.
Oh yeah,
Megan's Conan O'Brien. Yeah. So yeah, no, it's I love his stuff, by the way. Conan O'Brien's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so Nick P, I'm curious though. So you're going to the Grand Canyon at sunrise. Are you going to be on the south rim or the north rim? I've only been to the south rim. So it's like, are you going to camp there? Are you going to drive in right at sunrise? If you do drive in at sunrise, and plan to get out of your car, bring a headlamp. So key.
Whoa! Darian,
What?
with the win on worst travel experience.
Like
I've had someone get sick right next to me, and the person threw up down my leg. Still had 5 hours left in the flight. Taking a bath in a small plane lavatory sink is horrendous. Oh, that's so bad.
I'm so sorry.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's awful.
Darian, that's not great.
Was it someone you knew? I don't know if that makes it any better or not, but
Like if it's your kid, maybe.
yeah.
But
That's brutal.
rough.
And especially because, like, not everybody remembers to bring a change of clothes or something in their carry-on. So.
Hey, PG, Mark's back. Say hi.
Aw. Hi, Mark Finley.
He's like just staring at her because she gave him treats, and
Yeah,
so he's just
I
like,
think he's zoning.
he's like, yo, where's my
Yeah,
treat?
good dog.
Where's my treat, bro?
Yeah, Glory Sims, turbulence is kind of like an earthquake. Although I haven't really been in severe earthquakes. I've only been in really, really small, mild ones. But yeah, it is a little bit like that.
I mean, so the only time I've really experienced like a lot of people getting sick on something was when I took the ferry from southern Spain over to Morocco. That was like super choppy, and so it got so bad that everybody had to be inside the ferry, and you would look out the window and you'd either just see sky or water. You almost never saw a horizon. You're just like, it was really, really bad, and so bad that, you know, it was like we were sitting on the ground. There were no seats or anything. It was like super crowded. And so we found seats to sit kind of in a hallway, but we found out pretty soon that that hallway was the hallway that led to the bathrooms. And so it was like people were just like running to the bathrooms like nonstop to go get sick. And so that was kind of...
Yikes.
Luckily, everybody made it to the bathroom.
Let's stop telling these stories. They're downers. Oof. I'm sorry.
But I
to
don't know.
everybody who's
I'm not
experienced
sure
all
if
those.
anyone can one up Darian's
Yeah,
story.
Darian's is rough.
Let's hope that nobody can, because that's gross.
Yeah. So Nick's going to the South Rim. He'll be driving in from Flagstaff. Cool. You're gonna have to wake up early. But it'll be a really, really great experience. And bring that headlamp. Then.
Fun info about Prague. Look up The Honest Guide on YouTube. Great info to protect travelers coming to his city. Oh, that's awesome.
I feel like I've watched some of that channel. That sounds super familiar. And then Brian's asking Mark what the movie was tonight, so we'll have to hear. Oh, he says it's supposed to be Jumanji, the sequel.
Oh,
but
nice.
April bailed on us, so we just watched something quick on Netflix.
Nice.
Man, those teenagers.
I do like those Jumanji movies, though. Those are fun with The Rock.
I
So
haven't
good.
watched the new ones.
The new one has
I
Danny
think-
DeVito in it.
Did you? I think you watched that on
Planes?
an airplane. Yeah, when I was sitting next to
Probably
him.
on
but
the
I
way
didn't watch
to
it.
Amsterdam.
Yeah. Then Megan says, I had someone put their dreadlocks over the back of the seat in front of me. The locks were long enough to reach my tray table.
Ew. Yeah, I'd be asking them to not do that.
That's gross. Then Bonnie says, I've been watching armchair tourists screenshots on TV, just jonesing to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
we are too. We've been watching a ton of travel content.
Yeah. Actually, we just watched the first 2 episodes last night of the new Zac Efron Netflix
Oh yeah,
series.
has anybody else seen this?
It's actually pretty fun.
Please let us know. Derek
weird.
now wants to be best friends with Zac Efron.
Yeah, Zac Efron seems like a total like nerd. It's awesome.
But it's like he travels to different places all over the world and learns about like conservation and earth science. So who knew?
We've seen the first 3 actually.
Who knew Zach would have that type of interest?
Well, in the first episode, he goes to Iceland, and so you learn a little bit about Iceland and their renewable energy. And then in the second episode, he goes to France to learn about water. And then the third, he goes to like
and Anna
Costa
Kendrick's
Rica
in that one.
briefly. And then in the third one, he went to Costa Rica to learn about kind of like sustainable farming and
Yep.
just ecotourism and stuff like that. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's all pretty cool. Darian says, I did not know the person, but it was a 74-year-old lady, and she was
Oh.
devastated. Oh,
So sad.
that's so unfortunate. I had extra clothes in my carry-on. Nice. None of my clothes had throw up on it, but I threw my clothes away. That's such a bummer. But I'm glad you had extra ones. Sue says, best airline story. My mom told British Airways it was her first time to England, and we got line access. Yeah.
What does that mean?
I assume it's like she got to cut the line and stuff.
Interest?
Nick says,
There's only one true Jumanji movie, and Robin Williams is in it.
yep, yeah.
I mean, that's a good one. I like that. I'm just saying, like, I had such low expectations for the, like, new Jumanji movies that I was super stoked. They're actually pretty good.
Oh, you know what we still haven't talked about?
And they have one of the Jonas Brothers in it.
We haven't talked about the second half of our list yet. We've had such a good conversation with you guys tonight.
Yeah, let's just keep having a convo.
Man, we never even figured... Okay. Should we keep going on our topic from over an hour ago?
So, Nick P says, thanks to the Gallivanting Gals video, I picked up first aid kit from Walgreens tonight. Definitely something that is necessary.
Yep.
Better safe than sorry. Yeah, if you're going on any sort of extended road trip, definitely have first aid kits.
We keep some weird stuff in our, like the hidden compartments in our car. One of them's a first aid kit. I don't even know if I like should say it.
Another one is
one of them's a urinal thing.
Yeah, so
for if you're like in the side of the road and you
need to pee.
Yeah. So, you can buy those online too.
Yes, you can. In fact, you could even use it while still driving.
Ew. No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
Oh, ew.
Okay.
No, not recommended. Anyway, but yes, that's for like if you're like in the middle of nowhere. We also have an electric blanket back there too.
Yeah.
And a lumbar pillow. I'm like, what else do we have in our car 24/7? It's just popping into my brain. We have car chargers, things that are important for road trips. Okay, then, excuse you.
Sneezy.
He has
He's
allergies.
still just staring at you, no matter how I face him.
Here, maybe I'll give him another treat.
No!
Yeah, you can give him a treat.
Too many treats.
No. What's too many treats among friends?
Too many treats. What's that?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
He said that's not too many.
Megan's gonna be like, you spoiled his dinner.
So then, Eric B says, The Honest Guide is a great channel for Prague. I also watch a channel called Nash and Teresa. They live in the Czech Republic and have a great channel about Prague. We gotta watch that one. I don't think I've seen that one. Ryan says to Megan, I actually found Honest Guide when I was looking up ideas for Helsinki and Tallinn, and now I want to go to Prague. That might be why I saw it. I think I maybe saw it for Tallinn. And then Lori says, I did not know about them. Thank you. I'm not sure what that was in reference to. Then Nick says, my favorite part about Delta was since I was a solo traveler, I got a fast pass through the UK customs. In and out in 5 minutes. That was so awesome. The regular line was super long.
The fast
really
pass.
Nice.
Yeah, the fast pass can be super cool. You can get that sometimes on like Delta. You can get that on American if you're in like business or like first class as well. I think they like to hand those out, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I've only done it once, and it was with you. They never give it to me. I feel. Okay. Megan says you will love Prague to Brian, hopefully to us too. I went to several restaurants he recommended. That's the same experience that we did when we kind of binge watched Dutchified on YouTube right before we went to Amsterdam. Yeah. We went to a ton of stuff that he recommended, and it was all phenomenal. And we actually found him through the Walter's World videos. Then Lori says, no problem. I watch all the time. Their vlogs are very informative and interesting. Drew says, watch The Old Guard on Netflix. Solid movie. Oh, yeah, we'll have to watch
it. With Charlize Theron.
Sue says, somebody feed Phil, too. It's love letters to all the places. I'm biased, but Chicago is amazing. His episode on Lisbon made me put it on my list.
Yeah, somebody feed Phil.
Yeah, that one's popped up on my Netflix a lot, but I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, we need to check that out. Lori is saying that she packs minimum first aid when I travel abroad because I can always buy it there, which is true. In most places, you can get kind of what you need from a first aid perspective in Europe. But if you're traveling, if you're doing a road trip, I would just recommend kind of maybe getting a few things to have in the car.
I do bring what I like to call a pocket pharmacy when I go abroad, just for quick access. with ibuprofen or stomach aids, bandages, lots of like different things that maybe you might not, like if it's an emergency, like you might not want to have to run out to the store for.
Yeah.
I should make a video actually just about like how to pack a little pocket pharmacy.
Yeah, you should do that.
Should do that.
Thomas Reiser says that he had registered traveler, so he could use e-gates, and now all Americans can use them. Yeah, the e-gates are pretty nice and easy. You scan your passport and you kind of go through. It's pretty nice.
Our global entry expires soon. Mine expires in February, and I've heard that passports are really slow to renew right now, and I'm wondering if global entry is the same. So if any of you guys have like renewed a global entry card,
we need to do that soon, actually.
let us know if the process is getting delayed. I don't know if we're gonna have to go in and get our pictures retaken or something.
Yeah, so Nick is asking if we're going to continue doing the live streams into August, and the answer is yes.
Yes. There
On
might.
Thursdays?
It's possible there will be one that we have to cancel. I think it's like August 20th. But as of right now, we're working through logistics so that way we wouldn't have to. But that's like literally the day that we're supposed to drive from Chicago to Derek's parents. So
Yeah.
we're working on it. But other than that, yes, every Thursday.
Yep.
Let's hang out.
And Thomas is making a point that global entry is getting delayed right now. Yeah, so actually I got an email from them not that long ago saying that basically as long as you put in the renewal process, they'll honor it for an additional year because of all the backlog that they're having. So I just need to go through the online thing here soon so that I get it for a year after it, renews.
Yeah.
So Lori is saying Fast Pass is great when I come back from my extended trip in 2018 with both ankles sprained and was wheeled through customs faster than anyone in line. No line for me. It was great. Nice. I don't want to sprain my ankles to get there, but that's nice.
Yeah. Nick says, I hated the allergy sinus pills I bought in the UK. They were so much more inadequate compared to American versions. Yes. I have like spring allergies in the UK that I don't get here. And so I had them so badly when I lived there. And I went to Boots and bought like the generic brand and they did absolutely nothing. And then I bought like the most expensive one and it still wasn't adequate enough. So I always bring like the 12 hours over the, like behind the counter Sudafed. Like it's not a prescription, but you have to ask for it with me, even to places that I might get allergies within the U.S. I just find that works the best for me, so having access to it right away is important. Yeah.
All right, I know you want to get back to this thing.
I know, it's like we're on hour 3 now, and I haven't even gotten halfway through my list, which it's okay. The list is very short. So the final thing that we didn't mention about what to consider when you're planning for travel quarantine is, especially for the UK, is to figure out your transportation to your quarantine place.
Yep.
So it's probably a lot less of an issue if you're in the US and needing to go straight into quarantine, for example, at your home, or at a different place. But in the UK, you, like we were saying before, hours ago now, you cannot stop anywhere, and they highly ask, like strongly ask, that you don't take public transportation.
Yep.
So
basically, it's like, if at all possible,
yeah,
don't take public transit.
Yeah. So what we are trying to like price out is like what the cost of an Uber would be from Heathrow to our final destination. And if we don't want to have to rent a car if we're not going to be able to use it for 2 weeks, unless it's cheaper than an Uber.
Well, what we could probably do is we could probably do a one-way rental from, like Heathrow to Bristol, drop it off, and then take an Uber.
Yeah.
Something that we could probably do.
Yeah.
So we might do that, kind of do a one-way, one-day rental to get us to our place, and then, drop the car off, and then take, before even getting to our, check-in, and then then go to the Airbnb or whatever. Or we can, pay the whatever it is, like $200 or so for an Uber to Bristol, which would be one option. Because at the end of the day, it's about pricing out. All right, if we did like a long-term car rental for like a month, how much would that cost versus cost benefit of waiting the 2 weeks and instead incurring this other cost. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. But it's kind of important. I wish I could take a train, but I don't know if I'd feel okay doing that, depending on the rules. So we still need to dig into that slightly, I think, to make sure that we can't take a train.
Yeah.
But I don't think they want us to.
And we'd probably make that final call like the week of getting there if we have to organize a ride or something like that, just in case the rules change, and we could save like hundreds of dollars and take public transit and socially distance.
Okay. We went down.
Righto. So, do you want to actually bring him back down to Megan so he?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay. Like, what's happened before. He doesn't know this place. Why don't you bring him back down real quick?
But now he's exploring.
Okay.
So, Nick P., thank you for joining us, bud.
You know what? I don't feel comfortable with.
Oh, yeah, because he might knock over a light.
He could knock over a lot of things.
Come here, bud.
Yeah.
Treats. Get away from the lights.
What were you saying? Nick P. said something?
He's taking off.
Oh, bye, Nick. Thanks for joining, and I can't wait to follow your travels. So you said he'll be here next Thursday night at the end of day 1 of 28.
How hard is it for you to...
Yes, I can't wait to hear about it. And Scorpio, Sue also has to go to bed. Looking forward to hearing about our quarantine travels.
See, it's because we're taking PG away.
Yeah, everyone's going because PG's going. But anyway, so we're just gonna say a couple quick lists of items for what to consider if you think that you might have to return into a quarantine situation back to your home. By the way, if you're heading out and I've missed you, I'm so sorry, but I think it's just Nick P. and Sue. So thank you both for joining. And anyone who's still on, thank you so much for sticking on. And sorry that we totally diverted and we're finally getting back to the content at hand. But you guys are troopers and we appreciate you so much. Cool. So when you're returning to your home, you want to have like all of these supplies kind of already at your home, maybe what you wouldn't necessarily consider having an abundance of if you were actually able to get out to a store when you get back. So probably like a fully stocked freezer, for example, of freezer meals, that sort of thing, so that way you are able to eat without having to go to the store if something were to happen that you couldn't go. What's another, like paper goods, paper products if you couldn't make it to the store, just, essentials. Then you also want to keep on top of all of the local updates from your own city when you're traveling, and you'd be surprised how hard that is, because like you kind of want to tune out to where you're from, right? Like you're not necessarily keeping on top of like the local Chicago news or seeing everything that's going on in the same way that you might in normal circumstances. So just being able to keep abreast and stay connected, at least maybe check once a day into your local area, and those regulations will be important. Hi, Mark Walters, by the way. Derek was bringing PG back downstairs to Megan because we didn't want him to start roaming around in the office. But he is here, I promise. We are only temporarily missing Derek, yes, as Ryan is saying.
Yo!
Mark Walters was saying hi.
Marky Mark! New kids on the block. Was that Mark?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Both Marks might be able to tell us, but... and then the last thing to keep in mind if you're returning into a quarantine situation, or potentially could, is to know, like, basically be able to tell your work.
Donnie was New Kids on the Block.
Basically be able to tell your work in advance if you think that there's any risk of that being an issue. So that way their expectations are level set.
Don't tell work.
Okay, fine.
Just do
Just
it.
be like, oh my gosh, I had no idea this would happen.
Why every day it sounds like you have more and more of a British accent. What's happening?
No, I'm saying if you have to like return back to Chicago, for example, and all of a sudden you have to quarantine. Just keeping work in line with.
Yeah, I guess it's
an
good
important
thing
one.
to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually was slightly too young for New Kids on the Block.
But I hear they had a lot of hits.
Yeah, I heard they had a bunch of hits.
Chinese food makes me.
We
I
were
love
not
Chinese
too
food.
young
Actually.
for LFO.
Whoa, Peachy just barked.
Uh-oh, where did you leave him? Did you leave him
With
with
Megan.
Okay. Then he misses us, maybe.
He was like trying to climb up the stairs back after me.
Really?
But it's because I had the treats in my pocket.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't actually like me. He's like, treats! It was funny. I've never seen him that excited to get back up here, though.
Mark Walters, we were definitely in the
NSYNC.
NSYNC Backstreet Boys generations.
So Backstreet Boys, wow, I'm offended. No, I was never really into the boy bands that much. 98 Degrees, maybe. Nick Lachey. Nick Lachey was great.
Discuss.
Discuss. Mainly because I liked Jessica Simpson. So
Yeah.
good on him.
I mean,
Good job.
that's long gone.
Yes.
But anyway, good times.
98 Degrees, lame. Nice.
That is like not the band that anybody usually says was their favorite, so I'm surprised.
Bring him back to them
Thanks,
too.
Bonnie.
She does have an adorable laugh, Bonnie.
Sometimes I feel like I laugh like a nerd. I'm like,
Wow, thank goodness that's not your actual laugh.
sometimes I feel like it sounds that way. Nick D says Uber is technically still in London as they go through the appeals process, but probably has a smaller fleet since it's a dying business there. Did not actually know that, so
Interesting.
that's an important piece of info
Yeah.
for us. And is it just London, or is it the entire place? Because I know like taxis.
Pretty powerful.
Yeah, I mean taxis are phenomenal in London. They have to go through like 2 years of schooling and learn every single street.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Especially
Especially with
impressive.
like, it's not a grid system, right? Like,
Right.
London is old school.
Yeah.
So like, it's kind of crazy. So the fact that they can get to like anywhere basically is super super cool.
Mark Finley said he had cheerwine with dinner tonight. Best soda ever.
Nice.
Now we know what it is. Thank you, Mark Finley, for explaining that to us last week. And I think you posted a picture of it, so now I've seen it too with my eyeballs, and I can picture that.
I still have not seen it, so I need to find the picture.
Yeah, Derek's not a big Facebook user, as you guys probably have all picked up on.
Yeah, I don't make it on as often.
I'm not
Sorry,
that big
guys.
of a Facebook user either, but comparatively, I'm bigger.
I've actually gotten, I've fallen away from social media generally over the last probably 2 months, I'd say. But I'm trying to get back to it, especially with Instagram. I've been posting the last few days and stuff.
Several things on Instagram this week, so I always get this wrong. If you go to his page at Mr. Means to Travel, you'll see some new travel photos, but they're not new. They're just newly posted.
Yeah, it's one of those things where once we get to the UK, hopefully, which I guess, Mark, that's the big thing that you missed, was that we were talking a little bit more solidly about our expected plans for the UK, and the fact that we're thinking about heading there kind of mid to late September, sometime after Labor Day, and we'll go do like the 2-week quarantine. We're thinking maybe in Bristol we'll do the quarantine, which would be really cool. And the reason why we're talking about the taxis right now is that, if we had to take a taxi versus something else, that would be, obviously you can't take a London taxi over to Bristol, that'd be stupid. But, hiring
You
a car
probably
versus an
could.
Uber and stuff like that. So
I bet you could arrange it in advance.
Yeah. And I agree, Lori. Yes, taxis are obscenely expensive in London. They're
I
kind of
paid-
cool. I like they're spacious up top, and that's like an old rule that for carriages and stuff they had to be tall enough for like a top hat, and like that stayed with taxis was like so that if you like get into the taxi you can wear a top hat and you should be able to clear the top of the roof, which is awesome. One of these days, I'm gonna get into a taxi with a top hat on just to make sure.
Yeah.
This is not regulation, but yeah. So that's what we're thinking about doing, and so we're looking at like different transit options from Heathrow to Bristol that'll still facilitate the idea of the quarantine. So we do like 14 days in Bristol. Maybe do like a month-long rental there, so that then we have 2 weeks afterwards to kind of explore Bristol. Go to Bath, check out Cornwall, maybe do some Cotswold stuff. So have a lot of fun.
I
And
feel
then
like when we
travel around.
if we
the
come
UK.
out of quarantine, we'll be like, oh my gosh, sunlight. What's happened since we've? What's that movie where with Brendan Fraser, I think, where he was like in an underground bunker since the '60s and he like comes out. That's
Oh
gonna be
yeah!
us.
Oh, that was such a good movie.
That's gonna
it
be
was
us.
not a good movie, but it was kind of a good movie. Where he's been in this bunker thinking that nuclear war happened.
Yeah, and it never did. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good. So Mark is saying that he posted some counterweights that I bought for my DJI gimbal that allows me to use it with an add-on lens or a microphone. Takes the usability to the next level. Yeah, so you can
Yes, we're
buy
gonna find out
counterweights,
those.
or you can do you can kind of jimmy rig it a little bit to get it to work. But yeah, no, that's great.
We need to experiment with our gimbal a little bit more. I'm so bad about using it because it's for cell phones, and I have to take my cell phone out of its case in order to put it into the gimbal, and like that's terrifying to me. I don't know about you guys. Maybe you guys are caseless people. I am not. Like my phone stays in that bad boy. Like it's clothed 24/7.
But I will
So-
say that it gives it. I mean, it's such a smoother frame when
It
you
is.
do have it in. It's really nice.
Yeah, like it's a noticeable difference, and I need to use it more. But I'm
Especially
always
for like
so,
B-roll. I feel like for B-roll.
Oh. I'm always like I regret not doing it, but at the time it's just like, oh, but I have to take my phone out of the case.
Yeah. And Lori's saying that love your idea for the plans, and there's so much in England to explore.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of going to the UK is that we chose that as the place that we would want to do a quarantine in, because afterwards there's so much for us to see, and we love it there. We've been there so many times, but there's still so much more that we haven't experienced, and we really want to go do that.
Yeah.
And we've never been able to do this kind of like idea of slow travel before, and figure this is a really good opportunity for us to go do that,
Yeah.
and get to know a place a little bit more, stay
Yeah.
for a few months.
So Ryan says that you need both a top hat and a monocle.
Oh yes,
So you can truly embrace the Monopoly Man look.
Monopoly,
I added that.
the
but that's
Monopoly
what I meant.
Man doesn't get the credit he deserves.
Or the Mr. Peanut look.
Mr. Peanut, yeah. No, and the other thing is like again, the UK is not just England, right? It's Wales, it's Northern.
Oh my god, that's scary.
We
There's
have,
a fly in here and it's like banging into things.
yeah, it's
Oh,
the
it's on that
lights.
light.
Yeah.
Oh, that scared me so much.
It's okay.
Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, I just need to get a twisty mustache. I'm working on it now, guys. I'm working on the mustache. And actually, if you watch that Zac Efron travel show called Down to Earth, he's like got a beard going. He's like trying to do the mustache thing every once in a while. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I
But it's
didn't
awesome.
like that. Derek likes Zac Efron, I think, more than I do, which is saying something. He's just a big fan.
He seems nerdier than I would have expected.
That's true.
all.
That
I
was
don't know.
eye-opening.
Yeah.
for
Lots
sure.
of like Lord of the Rings references.
Yeah.
I was not expecting it.
Yeah.
So thought it was gonna be a lot more
Eric
bro-y.
says the black taxis in the UK are more expensive than Uber. Yeah. 100%. So yeah, what I was gonna say is I ended up spending like during rush hour to get just within the city of London. I think it was from like around Westminster to the city itself. oh my gosh, I spent 80 pounds one time because there was so much traffic. Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Ryan says he uses an OtterBox. He hasn't broken a phone yet. Yeah, I've always bought off of Amazon Incipio. And
which is not what
I've also not broken a phone, knock on wood. And it's a lot cheaper than OtterBox. But OtterBoxes are like the gold standard. Yeah. For sure.
I have no idea what I have. I have whatever a cheap box, whatever this cheap thing was that I bought. But yeah, so just a little bit more about our plans.
Jesus. This fly.
It's freaking you out.
I think it's after me.
Oh, man. It's a big one.
It is.
She's not even drinking, guys.
I'm not. I have tea.
Maybe if you've been drinking more, you'd be...
Yeah. It's because of the lights, right? They're attracted.
Oh, yeah, totally.
They're attracted to lights.
Yeah. But yeah, so a little bit more about the plan. So we'll do maybe the month in the Bristol type area, then head north and probably do Scotland for a little while. We've already done the Highlands, we've done Edinburgh, we've done Glasgow, but you know there's still more to see, more to do. I think we want to get to Skye, which is.
I'm sorry, we've got to get rid of this thing. I'm like sitting here.
It just landed on you.
Oh my god, are you serious?
No, it's off now, but it was on you.
I'm so glad this is on YouTube.
For posterity.
Yes, Isle of Skye.
Isle of Skye, though, is the place that we wanted to go see more. We only stayed there for, was that 1 night, 2 nights?
1 night.
We stayed one night.
Not enough.
So we
were so dumb.
On our Highlands road trip a couple years ago, we only stayed for 1 night, so we got to get there, which is... I mean, it's beautiful. It's a gorgeous place. It's stunning, and we would want to get there, you know, before it gets too cold because it's super windy over there, and so that would make it even harder, you know, as the temperatures fall. So, try to get Scotland done pretty quick, then start heading our way south, where it gets a little bit more temperate and whatnot. So, we plan to maybe be there for 2+ months. It's kind of what we were thinking. So.
Yeah.
If people have things that they're like, you've got to do this in the UK, shoot them our way because, you know, we're always looking to add stuff to our list. Like, if there's a castle, I will go there.
I've started
I love castles.
starring everything on my maps, like, that looks cool that I come across.
This stream is like the episode of Breaking Bad where Walter hunted down a fly. Oh my, that's so funny. Nick D and Drew said the same thing. That's really funny.
Yep.
Well,
I'm hoping that it left, but
well, if it left,
summon Fiji back, he'll kill the fly. No, he will not.
No. Actually, my parents' dog did that. She was waiting for a treat, and she was like sitting up, like kind of meerkatting, and all of a sudden a fly goes by, and she goes and ate it, and we're all like, "Did that just happen?" It was pretty funny.
Yikes.
So, Mark is saying, I took my phone out of the OtterBox once and handed the phone to Liam as I was shutting the car door, and he dropped it, and it slid right between the door and the car, and it cracked on the asphalt. Ooh, that's rough.
That's why you can't take it out of the case.
Oh, that's rough.
That's literally like, that's exactly the scenario that I picture will happen to me if I take it out of my case and put it into the gimbal. Or, it's just...
Well, I had that happen to me with like one of my old iPhones where I had just bought the case, but I hadn't gotten it yet to put it onto my phone, and of course that was the time that I like dropped my phone. It was like that time. It was sucked. And then I had to live with it, and it was a new phone, so then I had to live with that for the whole time I had that phone.
It will happen, he says. I know it will, and I think too, I just know myself, and it's like, I feel like because I'm going to be so extra thoughtful and careful about doing it, then it like becomes like more slippery or something at the same time. Like it's just, you know, when you're like extra careful is when you're like squeeze it too tight and it just like falls.
Well, that's the other thing is a lot of times when you drop like a phone, you try to go to catch it and you end up just like spiking it into the ground and it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Lori is saying that, she didn't realize that we were talking about like months long trip, which would be kind of our plan. Would be
Yeah, because we would have to quarantine for 2 weeks, so
Yeah.
it would need to be worth that time investment. So we were, looking at probably right after Labor Day through November, December.
Yeah.
And if not, we're going to be doing something in the U.S. So
Yeah.
it's going to happen.
Because again, we put our house on the market for rental, and we have tenants moving in next month, and so we'll not have anything kind of tying us down. We get to go live that wanderlust lifestyle for a little bit, which
Yep.
would be kind of cool.
Figuring it out as we go.
But Nick is saying that he dropped an iPhone face front on top of cobblestones in old Quebec City, almost totally destroyed it. Yeah, an OtterBox isn't going to save you from cobblestones if it falls wrong. And but Mark Finley says that he's the master.
OtterBoxes might. They might be the only thing.
Do they do? Do they shield the front
Yeah,
of it?
they're just like almost indestructible.
Huh. Interesting.
Ryan, it's not going to be van life, that's for sure. It would be,
So it's UK or van life.
Yeah.
I'll choose the UK over van life, I think. UK van life.
If we end up going through the
Yeah.
US, we'll drive around our
Car.
SUV
Yeah.
and stay in rooms.
Probably hotels, yeah.
Yeah.
Might do a yurt. I don't know. A yurt would be fun. They have yurts
Yeah,
at Dead
I don't want to
Horse
say
State-
hotels because it
Dead
might
Horse Point.
also be Airbnbs and scenarios, but like
Yeah.
places where the bed is not in the car.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's unlikely.
Not that
that
like
would-
it's
yeah.
perfect for some people. It's a great way to travel, especially like with RVs and stuff like that. It's just we don't like feel comfortable with that for ourselves as much.
Yeah. Not right now, at least.
UK van life. That would be tough.
I might rent a camper for like a weekend. I don't think
Maybe
I would
once.
do.
I think we would do that though, like only once we got used to driving on the other side of the road first. I don't think I would like jump into a large vehicle right away.
Ryan Donahue, yurt life. That could work. Yeah, but then you're
Yurt
just in like
life,
one
hashtag.
place. You're just like, this is my yurt.
Yeah.
I actually, so I was looking at these, and you can buy these tents. Friends of ours in Seattle were telling us about it. That you can buy these like tents that go on top of your car, and they fold out onto like a platform, and then it has like a queen size bed in it. So you have these like fold out tents that go
It did
on
look
top of your
cool.
car, and it's pretty neat. And at least then you're like elevated, so like you don't have to feel as worried about wildlife. I guess a bear is still going to get you, but you don't have to be as worried, which is kind of cool.
How did we rent our house out? We
Used a realtor.
Yeah. And because we live in the city, we actually had a lot of interest.
Yeah.
Like in a city in a single family dwelling.
Yeah,
So
and,
we
but
lucked out there.
how long did we do it? So it's a 1 year lease.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't
so
read that
maybe-
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 1 year. So we'll not be in Chicago. Well, we won't be at least in this house for a year. We might come back to Chicago. We might not. We don't know yet. But yeah, we thought that it was a good opportunity to go out and explore, which would be fun.
Yep. Mark Finley says he's the master of the kick save, and his feet have saved several phones.
Nice.
Yeah, that's impressive. My feet have saved 0 phones to date. Maybe tomorrow's the day. Nick D says, I accidentally broke the phone that my Airbnb probably gave her visitors for data usage in Ecuador.
Wow. Luckily, didn't get a bad rating.
Wow.
Oof.
Hopefully that means that you replaced it if you didn't get that rating.
Yeah, that's rough.
That sucks.
Digital nomads, yeah, that's kind of the idea. Be digital nomads for a little bit. Ryan, Don, yeah, yurt life, that could work. And then Mark is saying you got to feel comfortable when you travel these days. Yeah, and that's really what it's about, because for us, we understand that there's an allure to the whole van life or RVs and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, we don't want to like rush into something that we wouldn't actually be happy with, and we feel that van life and stuff is a little bit more of a long-term thing that we're not willing to enter into right now, and we just don't have that strong of a conviction behind it. So, but it can be great for some people, and I really do think it'd be fun to go try it out sometime. But
I'm seeing that there's a disconnect between this
what we're
chat
saying and them,
and then that.
yeah. So
I bet it's all gonna come in at once.
yeah, rooftop tent is what Ryan Donahue says. Yes, that is what I'm talking about. And then
Hi, Jocelyn.
Jocelyn's on.
And Mark says he's taken Jocelyn's account. So just Mark saying hi. Getting another like in there for us. Thank you. And another view.
That's
so
funny.
that's you
Thank
guys
you.
are legends. Thank you.
So Lori is saying, my brother and his family and my parents rented a big 40-foot plus RV and ripped the back half off while in Yosemite backing up. Holy
The entire back half?
cow.
Oh no.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, that's actually like we don't have experience driving large vehicles. Oh my gosh, it's back.
You can like hear it hitting.
Yeah,
the
you guys can probably hear it. It keeps running into the lights. But anyway, yeah. So, oh gosh, Derek just got a fly swatter. Please don't just not on. It's fine. We'll live with it. Okay, so yeah, so that would be really tough.
Got it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Everybody, I'm so sorry if this is like no, go away. Just
I smote it.
Don't just go away. Please.
I smited it.
Okay. So that just happened. But Derek got it, so that's the important part.
Do you want to see it?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so moving on. Yeah, we just wouldn't feel comfortable driving a massive RV like that. Yeah, Eric B says, Mark, good idea, switch accounts for extra likes. Yeah, Mark's crushing it. Are we about to see a Professor Walters sighting? That'd be fun. Nick D says, some real Karate Kid moves from Derek. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't have chopsticks, so
Derek's actually really good at like martial arts stuff. He's very quick. Because he used to do taekwondo, and he like still kind of like knows the things.
It's just not going for some
Yeah,
reason?
no, this isn't working. I can try to reopen it, but
Weird.
you have to read it on the little tiny screen. Got our extra like, yes.
Thanks, Eric
and
Brown.
If any of you guys are watching right now and haven't pressed the like button below, please do so. It really helps YouTube like understand what is so great about this video.
Yeah, and Lori Sims is saying that the electric fly swatter rules. My parents actually have those, and we've used those on bees like wasps and stuff, which is it works.
His dad was
Shocks
kind
the
of the
heck out of
first
him.
time they used it. He literally just like snuck up on a bee and like just kind of tapped
it?
it because he didn't know what was going to happen.
And he just like fell.
And just
Bzz.
yeah.
But that didn't kill the wasp. He had to actually then, because what he did then is he set it on like the ledge to see what happened.
Yep.
He's like, I want to know if it's dead or not. And then like later it had flown away. So it clearly didn't kill the wasp, but then he just knew that you can at least zap it and then step on it or something like that.
Okay, I think I was able to refresh this so we can actually see slightly larger version of it.
The sports report with EB.
Nice!
Hello.
Third like. Thanks, Eric Brown, I assume is you.
Thanks for 3
Thanks.
likes. We
You
appreciate
guys are
that.
the best.
That's funny. All right, Mark Finley, gonna say goodbye. Thinking of taking advantage of an upgrade offer from Verizon, so we have some research to do.
Oh, nice.
Good night, bud.
We have Verizon as well. Let us know if there's something we should be doing too. Have a good night, though, Mark.
Have a good night.
Thanks for
Thanks for
joining.
joining.
And Terry, if you're there too.
Yep. And we know that April bailed on you guys, but tell her hello.
Yeah. I just saw Ryan Downey's comment. The intruder was neutralized.
Yes.
They were not invited to the live chat.
They were not. PG was invited. Fly was not.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It just kept like running into our lights. It was annoying.
It was obnoxious. Yeah.
Super. And Bonnie, if you're taking off, good night to you as
Thanks
well.
for
We really
joining.
appreciate it.
We should probably wrap up soon anyway, to be honest, because we've gone through our list, and I feel like...
Well, unless you guys have other stuff
yeah,
you
if
want
you
to
guys
talk
have other
about.
questions you want
If
to
you
ask
have other
us.
questions or comments or things.
This is where we open it up for Q&A, if there's a Q.
If there's a Q, we might have an A. We don't know.
Yeah, so... I'm only drinking tea.
The
and
answer
I
might be 42.
feel like
I
I'm
don't
just
know.
as giddy as usual.
Thomas Reiser, you will want to get a separate UK phone.
Yeah, we've actually been looking at that. Good point to bring up. So when I lived there for several months, studied abroad.
Nick, have a good night.
Good night, Nick. And Nick, thank you for joining too. Got like a separate SIM card from Car Phone Warehouse and was able to get like my own UK phone number and stuff like that. And
Mark, we're on the same wavelength. 42 truly is the answer to everything.
Nice. Anyway, so I was able to get my own UK SIM card, and we would consider doing that if they still have like the topping up service plan, and swap them out occasionally, so that way we can still communicate with our own phone number, while on Wi-Fi. And
Bye,
stuff
Mark. As Jocelyn.
like Bye, Mark/Jocelyn. But yeah, it's something that we're trying to weigh all the options for.
Nick D, the question is, what's the question? The answer's 42, but what's the question?
I never knew that you were quoting something when you say that. What is that from?
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh my god, are you serious? Derek literally says that all the time, and this has just blown my mind. I thought that
For
was like
years now.
I thought
it
that was just your thing that you did.
randomly. She every single time, like probably once or twice a week, Eliz will be like, "Hey, I got a question." I'm like, 42.
You guys just ruined this for Derek. Actually, I think he's just waiting to see how long it
I
takes
thought
him to-
you knew.
No.
I just assumed people knew.
Oh my god, this
It's
makes
a great
me
book.
feel like a
It's an awesome book.
doofus.
Great book, good movie with Martin.
So Thomas says the top-up system is still available for data plans and stuff, so and phone calls. So that's a really good thing for us to know if we want to make like local calls.
Megan Morris Q&A. Which American Girl doll did you own? I'm guessing Samantha.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Wow, I did not know that was a thing.
Nailed it.
I knew that you had an American Girl doll.
Like,
Actually, Tyler Hansen, if you're still on, we gave your daughter
I don't think
an
he's
American
still
Girl
on.
doll when she was little.
yeah. It was not the.
That was my
it was
one and
not an
only time
It was
going
a
to-
bitty baby. They're different.
Oh. But it's the same company.
Yeah.
We bought it at the dollhouse place.
Yeah. Yes, I definitely had Samantha, and I had the just like me one or whatever. But they're all great. They're all great.
Megan had Samantha and Felicity.
I wanted Felicity. Her best friend was named Elizabeth, so there's that.
No,
I could have been that for her.
I remember going to the American Girl doll store with her when we were buying that doll for my buddy's daughter, and just being like blown away with like that store. Like,
Yeah.
it's
My
crazy.
so
In
my
New York,
parents
it's
like
nuts.
felt like they were very, very expensive dolls, and they were. And so I would ask for, different clothes and everything, just because I knew that like they weren't gonna get me like multiple versions of the dolls. Yeah. But Samantha was fun. I had a lot of clothes. My grandmother would make clothes for Samantha too.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. My Oma, not my grandmother. Not my grandma. Anyway.
Ryan Donahue has a question, which is: have either of you worked overseas or just gone to school overseas? We've only gone to school overseas.
We both have interned overseas, but unpaid internships.
We did not. Yeah.
So
She did an unpaid internship at Stella McCartney
yeah,
in London.
in the PR department.
And I worked at a insurance company in Spain.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was doing. It was great. I just like stamped things. I was like, I don't know.
That I worked so hard. I remember like all the other people that had internships that were in the same program as me had similar experiences to Derek. And me and my friend who interned with me at the same place, we worked so much harder than everyone. I was very bitter about it at the time.
Yep.
But yeah,
It's kind of like Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, the fashion industry, like it's tough.
She's like, the movie's so true.
I don't want to say this on the internet though. Like it was a hard one though. Yeah.
Drew, can't relate to the American Girl dolls, but my favorite Gossip Girl was Lorelai.
Gilmore Girl.
It says Gossip Girl.
I know, but there is no Gossip Girl named Lorelai.
Oh. Gilmore Girls, yeah, I mean, but is it Lorelai, or Lorelai? Because aren't there three?
Yeah, actually.
Lorelai, Rory, and wasn't
you
the
guys
grandma?
are going to hate me for saying it, but they actually spell it.
Drew, damn it.
You're spelling it wrong, too. Gilmore Girls is spelled, the Lorelai is AI at the end, even though the normal way to spell it is EI at the end. That's the Germanic word.
I love Gilmore Girls. It's a great show.
It is a great show.
You know, that's also why I love The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which is a phenomenal show. Drew, I feel like you love Mrs.
Okay,
Maisel.
wait a minute. I just read Megan Morris's comment. The fact that you have the Fall Bella bag. Yes, I have a black one. It's amazing for travel. However, it's very heavy. So you have to like be...
So one with like the chains.
Yeah, so one that you can kind of convert from like a tote bag to a shoulder bag sort of thing. So it's kind of two bags in one, but yeah.
But back to Gilmore Girls. My favorite Gilmore Girls is actually Grandpa.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Richard. Richard's my favorite. I would aspire to be a Richard, but you know.
You already are.
One of these days.
He's not. Derek would never like be as big into like the golf scene, I don't think, but he would definitely be able to like sit and read and ignore people if he wanted to.
Just sit and ignore people?
Read and ignore people.
Yes, that is me. I'm going to be that curmudgeon-y guy who just like ignores people, just like, reading the newspaper.
These grandkids.
In my loafers. It'll be great. I can't wait. And Laura, I almost said Lorelai. Lori Sims is saying that she loves MMM. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Oh, I was like mixed martial. No, that's MMA.
Yeah, MMA.
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel the best.
It's a great show, guys. If you haven't seen it, Amazon Prime, awesome.
I want to say, like, I saw
3 seasons so far.
I think it just got nominated for like 40 Emmys.
It should win them all. I like the show. My parents didn't like the second season as much, and they kind of dropped out during the second season, I think.
Whereas my family loved the second season. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. Good
Damn
stuff.
kids these days. Yeah, I want to be that guy who like yells at people for being on my lawn. Get off my lawn.
Yep.
That'd be so good. No, I wouldn't do
that. I don't know. Never say never.
Oh, it's like you're already that way. Drew, the youths.
The youths. Derek reading his newspaper in a London cab.
Yeah, while wearing a top hat. Yes. Okay, fine.
That needs to be added to it.
And we were talking about this, I think, on like last week's or something like that we found at my parents' house a jacket of mine that actually has like elbow patches. I call it like, it's like almost like a tweed jacket with elbow patches, and I was like, this is like my professor jacket.
We'll have to grab that jacket for one of the live streams we do from that house, probably at the end of August. So we have not booked a flight yet. To answer Lori Sims, we would probably book at the end of August, and we're going to be booking with miles, so that's why we don't mind waiting. And then we also just, we kind of want to wait because we want to make sure that things stay the way that they are. So we would probably leave like pretty soon after Labor Day, and we would definitely post while we were gone. And you might not have been here, but we were joking about doing like daily videos because since we have to
14 days of quarantine.
Maybe Derek and I can do that to pass the time a little bit.
Yeah. Probably not daily live streams, but we'd probably do like try to post some sort of daily video.
Like an update.
Might be fun. So yeah, but we will still do live streams in the UK. That's the plan.
As long as the internet
As long as the internet works.
Like what we're trying to find.
Yeah, as long as it's good enough that it's not going to give us like a bad streaming experience, we'll still plan to do those. We might move them though.
Yeah, because otherwise it'd be like the middle of the night there for us to keep the same time. So stay tuned. Well, we're gonna hopefully you guys can be flexible with us.
Yeah, we might move back to like maybe do. Oh, we haven't talked about this, but I was actually thinking that'd probably be like maybe move back to that weekend time slot that was like morning U.S. time.
Yeah, we'll see. We can talk about it. We can maybe do a
us.
poll too with all you guys, like what works the best. And it'd be cool to bring in, be able to bring in people who actually live in the EU and the UK and stuff too.
I was gonna say Mo does this. I mean, Mo sticks around for these things. So
Mo's a champion though.
We're just not as good as Mo. Is really the heart of it, and Klaus and others who like come in and hang out with us. So we might move it, and it would be even easier for them.
Yeah.
And then we could do like maybe I was ignoring you, but like were you saying that we can have other people on the live streams with us?
No, I just meant like more people could join in the chat.
Oh, I was thinking like maybe we can get like Graham to come by and do a live stream when we're like in.
Yeah, but that would be after quarantine, of course. Yeah. Okay.
That'd be fun.
If you guys want.
Get some British accents on here.
Bring in some friends. We'll see.
Thank you, Lori. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
For the best of health.
Thank you.
Yeah, Eric B is saying, you can go to the UK now if you do a 14-day quarantine. So so Eric, that's kind of what we're talking about doing is going to the UK, doing a 14-day quarantine. We're looking at doing it maybe in Bristol because we think it's a really good balance of like it has access to like delivery, food, and groceries and like all that good stuff, as well as being a place that after quarantine has plenty of stuff for us to do, see, and explore. So we can actually do a month-long rental there, which brings down the average cost per night substantially. So we can get to like maybe even under $100 a night for kind of a month. And that makes it so we don't feel like we're wasting money during the quarantine.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I know we went through a lot of this at the beginning of the chat, and thank you guys if you've been on this entire time. Hopefully we filled in everybody who wasn't able to join right away. But this is really fun. Yeah. We basically are almost at 3 hours, so it's been phenomenal to hang out with all of you guys and talk this through with you, and let's be able to share our thoughts and hopefully help you all if you come across a quarantining situation in your travels too. Yep. So we appreciate you guys as always. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, but I'm driving to Indiana tomorrow. I got some painting to do down there, so
yeah. Derek's going by himself too, so he's gonna need to be well rested for that trip. He doesn't have me to like poke him awake. So we gotta
lots of coffee.
Yeah, lots. So we gotta get going.
And Lori is saying that she thought that the UK was doing a fast test with no quarantine when you enter. Maybe that's under review and
it's not available yet. But they're trying for it. So that's another like huge hope for us that by September it'd be available. But we're not keeping we're not banking on it. Yeah.
Anyone who's not a friend of this channel, please consider becoming one. They are so close to being monetized. Thanks, Megan.
Megan.
Anybody who's not following us, I think the people who are still on here have probably followed us by now, I hope. But
hopefully,
if not,
subscribing is a great way to support this channel, and just it's a great way to support travel content on YouTube that's free. It tells YouTube too that like this we do good things, and hopefully you guys feel that way.
But we really appreciate everybody's support and whatnot. It's just really, really great.
Yeah, and so thanks for all the likes. Thanks for sticking with us and having an awesome conversation tonight. I feel like tonight's has been like top notch.
Eric B follows us on 4 different channels.
Eric B, you're the bestest. Gold star. But thank you, Drew. Thank you, Eric Brown, Megan Morris, Ruth Armstrong, and Alan Armstrong, Lori Sims, Ryan Donahue, all marks. Who am I missing? Mo, thank you Mo for joining.
Klaus.
All the Nicks, all 3 Nicks.
Bonnie,
Thomas Reiser,
Mary
Bonnie,
Ellen.
Mary Ellen. You guys are all such wonderful friends of this channel and just friends of ours, I feel like, over the past many, many months. And we look forward to coming in here and hanging out with you guys every Thursday.
Yep.
So hope to see you guys back next Thursday. We will be here.
Oh, and thank you, PG.
And thank
you,
and
Drew.
PG, of
Thank you,
course.
Drew, for
Thanks
reminding me.
everybody for the support and love. All right, have a good night, everybody. Cheers.
Good night.
Bye.